everybody. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time it is for you where you are. This certainly doesn't seem right, does it? I'm over here. Well, I'm over here. Don't mind me moving things. Yeah, it's closer. Hello! It's a little dark in here. I'll work on that. How is everybody doing today? Oh, it's time rift o'clock, and I suppose I should do one. I believe I have a encapsulated destiny, so I get a freebie. And I would like my free thing, please. Hello! What doing? It's an excellent question. I'm clicking on eyeballs, and that appears to be not the correct answer. Maybe this is better. It's been forever since I made it in for the intro music. Welcome, Boogie. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Zuristel, thank you for the 33-month resub. On my third cup of coffee. I got some catching up to do. I have my first in front of me. It is full to the brim. I have yet to taste its benevolent glory. Purification Forge. There we go. Full Nighthold clears. So my thinking, and I do kind of want to do the Time Rift first, and then also, how do I build a Purification Forge? Is it just a big fire laser? Well, I guess I should try the button. Oh, that's it. That was easy. My thinking with the Nighthold thing is that this morning I was laying in bed being like, wow, it's Saturday. I get to farm Gul'dan. That's really exciting. Maybe today the mount will drop. And then it wasn't until like 45 minutes later that it occurred to me, oh, geez, it's not Saturday. It's Friday. Gul'Daniel is for Saturdays. And then I thought, well, you know what I have been thinking is that it is a real shame that I skip all of those bosses that still have transmog to drop me. What's up with that? Hi, kitty cat, you wanna come see? So if I took alts that did not yet have the skip, I could full clear that raid all kinds of times. I could full clear that raid and then have transmog to drop on normal and on heroic and on mythic, all on the same character. And there's like appearances and stuff. Fly and use your drake to run through. Yeah, okie dokie, we can do that. What's up with the mood lighting? I've changed things and I've yet to fully ratify it. I haven't fixed everything yet. Although I kind of don't hate it, although it's not exactly, this is very much like this is an 11 p.m. Saturday night kind of vibe. I don't know if this is what is it, 9 a.m. on Friday morning. Don't judge me and my pumpkin spice. Oh, I would never. Kind of miss the gnome intro. Saturday. Not so much Saturday yet. I know. It feels like it should be Saturday. Bonjour, Hazel. Hello, good morning. Made chocolate chip pancakes today because why not? I'm out of bagels. This is the finest reason. Haley, what is the preferred bagel? I take bagels very seriously. I love them very much. And I'm always curious to know where other people land on the bagel debate, because I feel like the different varieties of bagels are very distinct from each other, as opposed to some things where the different flavors are very arbitrary. Framing, yeah, no, I understand the framing's weird. It's just gonna be weird for a little bit. I was adjusting things because I was installing some stuff, and it's pretty tough to put it back in exactly the same spot. And also, I'm not a very precise person. Cream cheese or butter? Controversially, I actually prefer butter to cream cheese. It doesn't sound as decadent. It doesn't seem as elegant. However, it is what I like. I will even just like margarine. I will put margarine on a toasted bagel before I go for cream cheese. It's just the way it is. Sometimes I will, you know, I don't hate cream cheese, but it's, for whatever reason, I prefer them with butter. Specifically, Montreal bagels, which are unique. I think my favorite baked good ever. Rosemary, also all dressed. Perfect one with toasted onions. How can I? Yeah, it's a little better. That's not too bad. We've got a cat in the frame. Hi, sweetie. Hello. We're stomping on pesky beasts, which seems really rude. So we're not we're stomping on pesky beets. It's the garden. Love your hair so much. What did you use on it? Oh, shucks. Dye. drugstore bleach and drugstore dye. I figure it's real short, so if I don't like how it turns out, I'm gonna shave myself bald and then wait 2 weeks and then I have hair again. Does not compute. Fatal error. Abort. Retry. Fail. Yeah, I know. It's not a choice I would force anybody else to make. Nothing elegant about cream cheese IMO? I think of cream cheese and bagels when I'm thinking of like fancy, and by fancy I just mean fancier than my regular life. Like craft service tables, kind of catering tables, that sort of thing. Like you're at an event or you're in like a workroom and someone has, you know, supplied the room with like coffee and bagels and stuff. They'll have like pre-sliced cold bagels, like hotel breakfast bars, that kind of thing. Pre-sliced cold bagels, and they'll have cream cheese and stuff. And then also coffee. And I think that's the peak of elegance, apparently. I also, unless there is a toaster available, hotels generally have the toaster. Unless there's a toaster available, I am usually not playing ball unless I'm desperate. I'm not big on a cold bagel. Simple man, blueberry bagel with a blueberry cream cheese. Makes me think of New York. Can't tell you why. Never been. Seems New Yorky. Lived in NYC. Bagels and Schmear life. Ever have Einstein Bros? Yeah. They were good. They carried them at Costco. I liked Einstein a lot. We have some good bagel places here as well. But I haven't found anything that really floats my boat the same way. There was a grocery store that I used to live by that is now out of business and defunct that used to sell just like their grocery store bagels, their house-made ones. And they were so yummy that I've been chasing that bagel high ever since. And Einstein got close, but they still didn't do it. Love Einstein's jalapeno cheddar bagel. I actually, and this is not very elegant to me, but I kind of like the Tim Hortons jalapeno bagel. They do like a jalapeno Asiago bagel. I'm sure it's like made of plastic or something, but they're I used to get them on my lunch breaks sometimes. Back when I worked a real person job. And they're just the right. I don't even usually like spicy food, and they are a little bit hot, but they're yummy. They're good. Of all Timmy's items, their bagels are actually half decent. I was thinking that recently. I was looking at the Timmy's menu because I kind of miss the experience of going to Timmy's, but I have no desire for the products that they sell there anymore. I mean, I might mess with an ice cap in the oven, but it's you know, I used to get like the tea and the coffee. I guess I could try steep tea again, but I can just make that at home. I think I'm just not away from home as much as I once was. I think I'm pretty stuck here. But you know, their bagels are decent. Love to learn / practice making my own bagels. It's fun. I've done it before. Mine always looked hideous. I don't know how you make pretty bagels. Mine always ended up looking lumpy and strange, but they were yummy. Like just any fresh bread product that you've made yourself, if you even come close to approximating what it's supposed to be, it's going to be amazing just because it's fresh. And bagels followed that rule very well. I think after this, I want to mess with my lighting because this really is very, very dim. What I've done is I've installed some stuff on the wall where I usually bounce my light off of, and I left a corner, but I did not leave enough of a corner. So that's where our reduced light is. I turned the light up to compensate, but clearly not enough. Hi. Oh, see you later. I missed the cat thing, the cat pet threshold. So I got a Valhalla's Heart Striker, which is account bound. It's a polearm. It's not collected. They're going to make me mail that to a character that can use a polearm. And then otherwise just some flakies. Okay. Let's go home for a start. Smug NYC bagel shops that refuse to toast their bagels. Huh. Tried Timmy's once. Wasn't sure how I felt about it, but I grew up with Duncan. The common consensus, and I don't know if this is an urban legend or not, but I would agree. The common consensus is that Timmy's used to be better, and it's no longer very good. They've done that thing that businesses do, where they build up like a loyal following and a place in local culture, and then they cut costs and do things really cheap, and make things kind of gross. And people will still go because it's Timmy's, but not anybody I know. Crinkle can learn that polearm. Alrighty. Yeah, I feel you on Claire Sappets. When in doubt, send weapons to Crinkle. So I wanted to do the time rift. I wanted to mess with my light. I want to drink coffee. I mean, I don't really need... Is there anything I can craft while I do those two things? Because I also wanted to do those LFR wings that I got right up to on my Troll Hunter but didn't do yet. She was going to do some BFA LFR to try for some male bracers that ATT Random has me after. And I want to try and see what her damage is like for that. Jewish deli. There's a Jewish bakery that does bagels here that's really good. They have really, really good bagels. That's, I think, my favorite place. People like Mount Royal Bakery, and they have good bagels too, but the Mount Royal Bakery bagels are, like, very large, which I think is a selling point, but it's just not what I'm after, I don't think. 48, 50. I kind of want my bagel to be like a normal bagel. Whatever that might mean to me, I suppose. How am I doing gold-wise, by the way? Yeah, I invested a bunch in that, I invested a bunch in the, some tepid verses that I need to sell. I've got 800k, I've got 600k probably worth of tepid verses that have to go. We're gonna do a scan, I suppose. I'm gonna drink some coffee and mess with this light. Bizarrely enough, I don't know when Timmy started doing hash browns, but that I actually like. Timmy's hash browns are basically like McDonald's hash browns now, as far as I'm concerned. Alright. Let me... mess around for a second. Here. It's gonna get darker before it gets brighter. Do I hate that? I hate that very much. I can't do that. I can't live my life like that. I don't think they're supposed to be at eye level. One sec. How do I feel about this? I'm very crooked. Yeah, I'm good with that. That'll work for now. There's kind of a lot of glare on this side from my perspective, and I'll just have to work on that later. Big mic went off. Oh. Alrighty. Bank is full of Aukenbloom. About 40k of them for 28s, and your stash makes me feel better about myself. Yeah, that's my favorite way to live. I want to craft, but I'm not going to craft. If I craft, I'll be stuck crafting forever. Oh, whelps. No, oh, man. When is the right time of day to look after whelps? I think it's later in the day after coffee. I think it's okay if we're behind on them. It'll be all right. I want transmog. Look at her non-matching outfit. He'll be stuck for a good 5 minutes. Philadelphia makes a garlic herb whipped cream cheese. I used to get, I used to buy the different ones. I used to do that. And then I've stopped. I didn't know why. Also, just like 1 degree there. There we go. Okie dokie. I am item level 380, and it is an open question of how soloable this is all going to be. So we're just going to have at it and hope for the best. We need to run the Grand Reception and Circle of Stars to try for a pair of mail bracers, or mail bracer lookalikes that All the Things has tasked me with procuring. It's just LFR difficulty. I am Beast Mastery. I think the thing that was happening on my other characters was that everything was very health spongy in this BFA raid, but it didn't really hurt me at all. So as long as you weren't running into any mechanics that would prevent you from doing things. Also, do I misplayed her? I think I misplayed her. I might need to turn that on. Unless you took so long that you ran into like a mechanic that was going to be a big problem, it was fine, basically. We're going to want primal, primal whoozy what's it? Primal whatsy doody. Also, I've done that thing where you like open a Windows menu. Oh, there we go. Okay. We want to call a ferocity pet. Is Spiky a ferocity pet? No. Snips must be a tenacity pet, right? Oh yeah, I get extra health from having a tenacity pet. That's interesting. All right, so Snips is no good. Do I not have a ferocity pet on this hunter? What have I done? We have my hyena. My hyena is a cunning pet. He's speed. That's no good. It has to be Spike, right? No, Spike's speed too. I don't have a lust pet. All right. Oh well. Whoops-a-daisy-do. What dungeon is this? This is the Eternal Palace. This is Eternal Palace LFR. I am in here hoping for transmog. I specifically, in this wing, I want these Arcanemental bindings from the third boss. Not because they're cool, but just because that's the game that I'm playing. But there's a number of items that I could get from these earlier bosses as well. She needs a ferocity pet. When in doubt, get a good cat, you know? Would you ever craft alts like this spark gear? I will do it if I can do it for 1,000 gold or less. Which I probably could. You could probably get like a jewel crafting, a JC item. You could probably post, like, I don't know if they have sparks is the thing. Like, they've literally not done any endgame content. So, and I, for whatever reason, I'm really stubborn about having no interest in doing any endgame content. But if they just like had the sparks for free, I guess you would have ingenuity sparks. And if I could put a public work order with mats that cost me like under 1,000 gold and then get something done, then sure. But that's about the level of effort that I'm willing to put into something like this, at least for now. I think eventually, obviously this is not the most efficient way to go about living my life. But for the moment. Would you do it for ATT random? The hard thing is I always feel like if I could just struggle my way through... Did I not need any of that transmog? Oh no, I needed the Claws of the Myrmidon. I got a new fist weapon. My feeling is if I can just struggle my way through and get the item to drop, then I don't have to do it again, which is a total fallacy because there's always going to be more Mog to farm. But I think if I was going to get these characters some gear and set them up, for whatever reason, I'm more likely to just do like time rifts and frank assault and researches under fire on them like once or twice, which I guess would also give you the sparks. You could play a character for like a week and get it a pretty hefty chunk of item level without even and by a week I mean for like an hour, like 2 hours maybe. It's probably worth looking into. It's probably worth a video. So I have those BOA boxes, but I'm saving them for a character that actually like is gonna wear it properly. I'm saving those for my Resto Druid because I do still want to do our Druid alt keys. It may not end up being this season. I think I'm a little bit too addicted to the Mog farm right now to really contemplate going hard on anything else. But those are for Mala. Even though she will probably outgear them quickly, I have this idea that they are for Mythic Plus because they're from... I needed Mythic Plus core to buy them, so they're like Mythic Plus tagged in my brain. That's not a logic thing. That's just a Hazel brain thing. Thought you would get the sparks every week or whatever for doing some quests. The part where you've lost me is doing some quests. Don't get me wrong, I'll do all kinds of stuff on my main or on an alt that I've decided to actually gear, but I have these weird arbitrary barriers in my mind of what is and is not acceptable to do on just like a quote-unquote throwaway alt that's just for farming. And the answer of how much endgame will you do is usually no. I'll do exactly enough to get her to park outside the rare that drops them out so she can tag it kind of situation. LFR and Loam questing and world quests and crafting is all, like, that is how you gear characters, but that's all more than what I signed up for on, like, my 1570s. Recently started to do pet battles, collecting pet battle achievements. Any tips? Oh, nice. I learned, or well, I guess I didn't learn because I didn't have it back then, but all of the best pet info and strategies and tips and like which pets to level first list and which add-ons to use and whatnot is consolidated quite nicely at Zufu's Pet Battles. This is a fan site that you may have, oh, I've done it wrong, that you may have run across already, but that's where I get lists of like which pets to use for different strategies, which pets are used in the most strategies that you might want to level first. There's all kinds of super, super helpful info there that will get you through basically anything you're looking to do. Do you think the Mega Dungeon rolls using item IDs? No, I would be shocked. If it gave you an item, I guess I don't know for sure, but I don't think so. I think if it gave you an item and it's like, well, you already had this appearance, but you didn't have this exact item ID, your average player would be looking at that being like, what the, you know, baloney. It wouldn't go over very well. I think collecting individual unique item IDs is an extremely niche thing that people are welcome to sign themselves up for, but I don't think it's the default. Did you know garrison shipyards are just broken? I did not know. I have not been to my shipyard in some time. That sucks though. That's how you get the good heirloom rings. Hazel and Hunter? Nice. 4th and DPS meter in LFR and survival last night. Cool. But yeah, I might bend my alt rules, especially if it's something. Yeah, I might bend my alt rules for my 70s and just try to get them. I mean, I bought her some gear. I got her to 380. She was at a level 360 before, so that was something. I may try and perfect my. I swear I know how to start this boss. There's like a fishy. I'm like turned around. There's a fishy that spawns here. There's like a ad that you kill. But I don't see any more ads up. Is it because I didn't kill the murlocs in the hallway? That doesn't seem right. It must be, though. No, there's a puffer fish. There's a puffer fish, and you kill it, and the fish goes, you killed my puffer fish. I thought. Excuse me. No? No good? Well, I suppose I can always go back to the, What if I poke my nose in the cave, and I go, excuse me, knock knock. No. Yeah, well, I guess I'll go kill those murlocs. Or maybe the fishies? Oh, did I reset it? I don't remember resetting it. Testimonials from Wowhead suggest that it gives items based on ID, not appearance, data, and PTR. Huh. Yeah, no, there's no fishy there. It just seems like that would introduce a wild amount of chance for people to get appearances that they already know. And I have yet to see that happen for either myself or really anybody. I think. Oh, there he is. He blends in, doesn't he? Chaos Buddhist, thank you for the 4-month resub. Hi, kitty cat. Yeah, alrighty. I guess you have to kill that trash to get the boss to spawn. Okay, dokie. Death of Chromie is also bugged. Mobs in the past freeze your game. That sucks. You wanna see kitty cat? Hello? How you doing? Just remember Desicromie existed. I couldn't pin it in an expansion, if we're being honest. Also, I think I'm gonna have to go back and I'm gonna have to chase this fish, aren't I? Yeah, I couldn't pin it in an expansion. It happened at some point. It involved time travel. Yeah, I don't even have weak cores set up right now. Time Lord's a fun title. Want to try it out? What else did we get from that? I did a bunch of it. I must have gotten something. Was it a source of gear at the time? It might have been. Okie dokie. So, Slipstream Salt Walkers. That, I think, is a case of me getting an item ID, but not necessarily a new appearance, because it showed the number being added to my collection, but it didn't show up with, like, the pink text. It was a catch-up system, I think. There's an ensemble for each armor type. 4 transmog sets, the Time Lord title. About to do this scenario. Well, good luck. I hope it doesn't freeze your game. Cosmetic sets, yeah. Yeah, I vaguely remember something about the top of Wormrest Temple. I definitely made videos about it when it was current. Or at least a video. When do you think I have to go back and start doing, when do you think I have to go back to start doing, whatchamacallit, Torghast for transmog? Speaking of Time Lords, what do you think about Doctor Who? Doctor Who's that? I haven't seen Doctor Who. I somehow managed to miss it. I was the right age, although I think Doctor Who is eternal, so lots of people are the right age, but like all of my, or many of my friends were very into Doctor Who. It just never really, you know, got in front of me. It seemed neat, but I wasn't exposed to, to this day, I've never seen an episode. Definitely an era when it was mega popular. I remember when I was in high school, people had like posters in their lockers. It like inspired a wave of people being like really into British stuff for a while. Torghast transmog for me, surprisingly quick and painless. Love the guy with the talking car. Erilyn, that's always fine. You can always stay here. Next MTG project, Doctor Who. Given that I also don't play MTG, I will give you a solid, firm, and resounding, that's neat. I hope people are excited about it. And then that's okay. Probably not going to be my thing. What media crossover would have to happen for me to get really excited about it? Especially given that I'm kind of cranky and for whatever reason don't like media crossovers. I feel like characters should stay in their own stories and leave each other alone. It's like watching brands collab and it just feels awful. World of Warcraft, but like if World of Warcraft did like a promotion with, and I'm trying to think of a brand that I really like. All right, let's say, or at least a brand that I patronize. Let's say World of Warcraft does a tie-in with LL Bean. They add transmoggable slippers and sweaters and flannel coats that you can mog onto your character, and they're LL Bean branded. I still think that would weird me out. And I'm sitting here in my LL Bean slippers. Casual wear for the game. I think they should totally add more of it. I just don't want it to be branded content. You know, WoW is already a brand, you know. Calm down. It's not clothing. Transmog in real life. Decided quantum items don't bother me. They bother me because they say appearance and give IDs instead. Oh. Do I understand? I don't know if I understand. I don't think there's anything that will ever convince me to collect IDs and not appearances, though. I I guess threats of violence. What else would do it? I don't know. A specific challenge that I am being paid to participate in that involves collecting item ideas. It just doesn't sound fun. Just imagine my WoW character dressed in all Nike gear. I mean, it's not wildly out of the realm of possibility. It's not a likely thing. It's not something they've ever done before, but I don't know. Games have done it. 18 years with the last patch. It was so small. Casual wear something Trading Post would give out? Yeah. They have too. They've sold shirts and outfits there that are more casual on the Trading Post. I'm a great purchaser of those. I bought the Shifty Merchants shirt and then I mogged it onto Barnacles and I'm very deeply pleased with my decision. Collect item IDs, get a house might just work. I just don't think there's enough people that badly enough want me to collect item IDs that are also willing to give me millions of dollars to make that happen in order for that to be true. It might work though. Although it would probably be like 3 people, if that, and I would feel a little uncomfortable. I feel like the best way to do anything is not in big chunks. Mr. and the Onesie Mog from BlizzCon would love more of those kind of sets. I love stuff like that. I think it's so fun. Okay, you could give me a chest piece, the bracers I'm looking for, or hands. And then before I do the second wing, I think I would, at a minimum, want to go tame a ferocity pet so that this hunter can, you know, lust, because that would help at least a tiny bit. Maybe I do want to gear up. Well, I mean, BFA is stuff that, like, I don't need to be farming BFA yet. There's a lot of transmog farming that I can do up to BFA. There's millions, well, not millions, but, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of items that I do not have that I could farm out of raids and dungeons that are before this point. I think I could keep myself busy for a long time before gear becomes the problem, and I might be able to keep myself busy for long enough that, you know, expansions come out and characters level up even more, and then they don't need to get the gear and it becomes kind of moot. Onesie Mog helped me win many a trial style for the goofy category. Wouldn't mind having proper shorts for my characters, maybe t-shirts with logos, logs. Oh, with logs for the bosses that I've killed. I collect the ideas, but I'm not, like, proud of myself. Thing about the MTG crossovers, people don't really care or dislike them until something they personally like gets made, then it's the best thing ever. Yeah, it sounds true. How is you? Meant logos, not logs? Oh, you did mean logos. I read it as logos first, and then I thought, well, boss logs also, you know, I have some parses that I would print onto a shirt. I haven't been browsing Warcraft logs lately, no. I have my parse collecting phase usually mid-raid tier, early to mid-raid tier, and then once I'm satisfied that I've done the thing, I usually like stop looking. Oh, I got the bracers that I needed. Nice. Those are a lookalike appearance for the BOE, pardon me. They're a lookalike appearance for the zone drop bracers that all the things told me to find, and as far as I'm concerned, that's good enough. I'm still gonna go get a ferocity pet. Take her out of the instance. Turns out, augmentation more busted than people thought. Like, how much more busted than people thought? Time to roll a new appearance to go after? I suppose that is true. I kind of wanted to do Nighthold clears, though, because then I can also have a chance at the Gul'dan Mount. Different IDs in your bags, Bible for like 5 gold. Sometimes if I have a learn from another item appearance in my bag and it's something I was going to vendor anyways, then I will sometimes just put it on just because. I'll admit to that. Okay, I'm going to play a game where I'm going to go try and find a ferocity pet without looking up on like Warcraft, WoW, Petopia or whatever. I'm just going to try and eyeball and be like, you look tough, and see if I can guess. I mean, I also have Eye of the Beast somewhere. Or not Eye of the Beast. What do you call it? Beast lore? I should have a button for beast lore. It's a hunter key. But no spoilers, no spoilers. Yeah, there's beast lore. So that's what that'll help me check. I feel like raptors are like dinosaurs, generally speaking. Well, I guess not all dinosaurs are in the same category. Troll with a raptor pet's pretty cool. I already have spikes, so I don't want like a Diametrodon. Diametrodon. Diametrodon? Diametrodon. Dimeters. Is it a bat spider? This is a blood tick. It's really cool. I slaughtered 42,000 trolls in the swamps of Nazmir for that thing. Dimetrodon. I think he's sometimes you just gotta try. Oh, speaking of which, sometimes you just gotta try all the options. Tenacity. All right, no good. Tenacity, no good. Really? I guess I'm not guessing. I guess I'm just kind of... I don't want one of those. Those look like Sandalar druids. Made of more souls than the shackled Ursel. This is all the same kind of dinosaur. Let's go to the swamp. Maybe I'll find something cool in the swamp. I love culty blood magic using swamp trolls. I might need to make one. I might need an alt that kind of fits that vibe. What are you? Tenacity. All the cool ones are tenacity. You're also tenacity. That's funny. I probably can't tame the fish. 375 item level, good for selling old content. It depends on how old. This hunter's 380, and she made it through some BFA LFR, but it took her sweet time. It was not a fast process, but it can be done. You are not a beast. You are fishing. You are a beast. Tenacity. I think all the blood beasts are tenacity. I think I should move on from the blood beasts. Leveling a troll hunter to use that set. Oh, there's a blood troll set coming? Blood troll transmog so soon? I missed it. What do you mean? How old is this news? How new is this news? Is this like current front page Wowhead news or? All right. What are you? I'm pretty sure you're tenacity. Oh no, you're ferocity. I could have a snapjaw. It's kind of, I mean, I don't want to call it boring, but I've done that before. It seems predictable. I want something weird. I want something kind of funky that you don't normally see hunters running around with. Oh, coming in on the trading post. They announced it before July. Oh, I wonder if I'm going to be too broke for it. Hi. You leaving? I need some cuddles first. Hang on. Hugs. Okay, now you're allowed. I mean, you're allowed to leave whenever, but I need some kitty cat love. Yeah, you're mad. Is it widely known you can buy the vault keys from the rep vendor now for 50 supplies? It's a thing that WoW had posted. I forgot to put it in my news video. It was supposed to be on my list and I just kind of forgot. That's no way that you're a frosty pet, right? No, you're tenacity. That makes sense. You look tenacious. Cuddle tags. I'd have a hard time this month if I didn't farm at Tyrael's Charger. Yeah, I think that was the only thing that let me save a little bit of tender. I've got 300, which is not very much saved, mind you. That's not a whole lot. I'm not gonna actually do anything, but if I was curious and I wanted to look. Oh yeah, I still need like mounts or a toy, or like I need stuff from BFA Horde because I just didn't do enough BFA Horde. What about you? You're a scattering grubber, and you know your mother named you that, not me. Cunning pet, no good. Okay. Cat charges me a cuddle tax when I get home from work. Last week's news video, and this week it's barely. I mean, I guess I can mention it. It doesn't seem very wildly exciting. Maybe I'll use this opportunity to be like, hey, this thing's broken. All right, so that's probably like a regular raptor. He's like really fuzzy. Can I have this one? Cunning. Also exotic. Cunning. Yeah, all right. Maybe they're not to ferocity. So far, the only ferocious thing I've found is the alligator. The crocolisk. Still deciding between two mounts. They charge so much for the BFA rep mounts. And the froggies. But I loved the froggies. The frogs that you buy out here are so cool. Do we have the option to make blood trolls now? Ooh, they should add it. We can make sand trolls. I think that blood trolls should be... you would just need some more like skin and tattoo options, right? I don't think blood trolls would be that big a deal. Completely broken tender. Last 2 months were too good. Our Devil Source candidates. Probably. I might be too much of a hipster for that. Do I have to go to... oh, can I have a snake? Cunning pet. Man. I need a ferocity pet so I have a lust pet in this character. That's mainly what I'm after. But I also want it... I want to like it, and I'm refusing to look this up in advance. Yeah, we are doing it the hard way, but I think saying it's unnecessary implies that anything in gaming is necessary. None of this is necessary. What is necessary? Well, I can't have that one. Yeah, the croc is a ferocity pet, but I don't want him. That is true. It's just some that might say it. You're right. That's true. Tori Telling, thank you very much. Giving out 10 gift subs. Holy smokes. Appreciate it. Congrats to those who picked him up. Wolves and cats. No spoilers, no spoilers. I mean, not no spoilers. I, in theory, already knew that. I'm just being weird. Bone raptors are presumably the same thing as... they are tameable, but they're cunning. Nice. Ooh, birdie? Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right. Easy. And I wanna... wow, I whiffed that. Okie dokie. Who doesn't love a good turkey vulture? I guess lots of people. Your name shall be... what's my other pet's name? Spike. I've got Took the hyena, Spiky the basilisk, and then I've got Snips the crab. I think this hunter has a very simplistic naming scheme. You shall be Beak. Not Beaker, not Beaky. Beak. Okay. That was really all I needed to do. Let's take her back to Valdraken. Maybe one day she'll get some better gear. Carrie, the carrion bird. Oh, I do like that. Are you not a fan of having a spirit beast? She might need one eventually for Valrithia. I'm just not. I like the unloved pets. I like the weird random ones that I feel like you don't see very often, even though people have all kinds of different pets. She's got 1,700 gold. I guess I'm going to save her gold for working on her gear. We can vendor all of this. But if we go to like Nighthold, that's all going to be relatively easy. I wanna do full Nighthold clears, because what if the mount drops and then we can pick a new mount farm for Saturdays? So I want to not do any of the characters that have the skip. I'm saving those for tomorrow because Saturday is when we focus on gold annuals. So Elixia, Evaleria, Crinkle, Inksy, and Aerith all have the skip. I don't know. I don't remember getting it on my hunter, but I'm pretty sure my hunter has it. Allison does not have the skip, and she's a clothy, and she's got some gear. Not that it matters. So let's do some Nighthold. Highest item level is probably 444 or 443 on my main, something like that. Gold you get to keep. Have you done the pet battle meta achievement? Different teams for every pet battle master? I think so. I did the one for... hang on. Let me find out. I have done Family Battler of the Zeralek Caverns. for Gerald. So that was the new zone one where you do the different type teams. And I did Family Battler of the Dragon Isles for Lady Feathersworth. I have done them. On my elf, they have ephemera strands. Remember that from Zereth Mortis? Not really. I think... I don't remember what they were for. Were they just like 5 anima items? Oh yeah, this character is actually... Her gear's doing better. I played her a fair amount. She's not caught up to my main, but she's not very far behind my main. The big balls you had to use the item on trying to get the box. Gone from my memory. Completely gone. Somebody's putting up work orders for a chilled rune. Are they trying to... Oh, no. Ruin... They just want to buy one for... That's weird. Panic missive of inspiration. 10 gold. You'll be providing this region. No, thank you. We're going to Nighthold. Do I want to clear up some bag space? Probably. I think I'm not happy with... I want to put some of this stuff away so I don't vendor it accidentally. Also, I probably want to wear... Let's wear my flowstone instead of the spear fragment just for now. Named after the character on Ghosts? She is not. It's, I have not seen that show. Undead, good fit. It is a happy accident. Accidental reference. Okie dokie. We're gonna throw some of this stuff away just in case I end up recrafting any of it. Or just needing any of it. Extra gear. This one I don't think I need anymore. Because I have, yeah, I've got a 441 one now, so that I can just vendor or something. Get my 67 gold back. I have some potions I can get rid of. I guess I'll just stick some rep items in my bank and try not to worry about them. Same thing with the singular martyr boulder. Phoenix Sash. Yeah, I'm going to regret all this, but that's okay. Time lost. Oh yeah, she doesn't need to do that quest. Get rid of that. She doesn't need this. I want clean bags. Clean bags. Well, cleaner bags anyway. We can chuck that away. I'm not going to worry too much about a reagent bag, although it is a mess. I don't know what possessed me to desire inscription so badly that I had to like level it up and get good at it. I'm not making any gold with it. I think I wanted to craft a staff for an alt. I wanted to be able to craft a decent staff. And I was like, I'll just get really awesome at crafting staffs. How hard can it be? And the answer is pretty. And then I did it, and then I didn't even, like, I made myself the staff out of stubbornness, and then I had somebody else recraft it to get, like, it was a mess. I don't want these guys. I just want a little extra room. That can go as well. Invis pots. Who uses them? Not me. Maybe I should. I can vendor that one and that one. And, yeah, this is looking better. This is looking better. You gotta have some space before you go making a mess. It's like when you go to the kitchen. My prime rule of my kitchen is that I am not allowed to put new mess over old mess. So if like, ideally I clean everything up after I'm done before I go move on with my life. But if I have failed to do so for any reason, or I have like snack dishes or something in the sink, and I'm going into the kitchen to like make dinner or start something, I must sort out the existing state of the kitchen and clean it before I start making a new mess, because I must never combine old mess and new mess. I must sort out old mess before I make new mess, and it works to have me not stack stuff up. My kitchen's not always clean, but at least it's not ruining my life. Where? Because that was a possibility. I'm just gonna delete that. I don't even want it. I don't even want it. And then we're gonna... What is this? Occasional sand. Thanks. Anything else I can get rid of? No, happy with this. Oh, reagent bank. I can just dump this in my reagent bank. How hyped are you for the Trial of Style next week? It depends on if they bribe me with any new appearances. I have all the Trial of Style appearances presently, and it's hard for me to want to do it when I have everything. I'll clean that up one day. But for now, Nighthold. Oh, she has 76k. Oh, she has 76k because she needs the gold to buy the mats for her Dracula's transmute. That's why. That's why. I could probably stand to do that, actually. So 3 times 5 is 15. And then 20... Let's just get some more silk and gem dust. We can just stock up on that. Let's just buy 1,000 of it. And then glow spores. 1,500 glow spores. And I can do some transmuting. I did set up, she has alchemy and she doesn't use it for very much, but it gives her a longer flash duration and it gives her some transmutes. I have those collected already, actually. I can send those back. Surprised it's maintaining value so well. Good evening, Hazel. Looking super fresh. Once you start stacking messes, yeah. I'm not actually a wildly messy person anymore. I was pretty sloppy in my younger years, especially as a teenager to young adult. It took me, it wasn't until my mid-20s, early to mid-20s, that I really learned to appreciate the value of taking care of my space for my own sake. Dark Enforcer, thank you for the 36-month resub. Why are Prime subs so hard to give? Just take them once and for all and give them to the streamer I have chosen. Well, I appreciate you choosing me. Okie dokie. Yeah, those have kind of fallen off a little bit. Yeah, it's okay. Alright. Nighthold. Off and away. Hang on. Captain Crackers. Come sit on my shoulder. I love this pet. It's so good. Living areas tend to be a little messy. Work areas are meticulously clean. Everyone has different standards, too, for what they would consider to be clean or messy. I'm sure mine would fall somewhere in the middle. I think that some people could go through my home and be like, "Oh, this is fairly neat. This is reasonably clean. This is a normal way to live." And then somebody else would be like, "This is not clean enough. You must fix this at once." And it would just depend on whatever someone's personal standards are. I've been in all kinds of different homes, and everybody kind of lives in their own way. Where's that pet from? I believe Captain Crackers was a shop pet, I think. Something like that. I'm going to make fun of you. It is barely an hour in. You're already almost started what you woke up and were excited to do. It's the trouble with WoW, and it's one of the things that makes me a little bit brain beesy, which is a very scientific and medical term. When you get the bees in the brain, is just, and I skipped whelp daycare. I didn't even do that, and I probably should have done that. Feeling like you need to do XYZ thing, and you just want to get it sorted out so you can start the thing that you wanted to do. Maybe I just need to relax more and just skip a lot of stuff and then just kind of do the thing that I had in mind. I'm going to do this on Mythic first, and then Heroic, and then Normal. And I'm going to full clear the entire raid 3 times. Trying to reach the other side of my 16-year-old's room makes me appreciate decluttering. I don't know how you impart this kind of values to a young person. I feel like my parents tried their very best to teach me how to clean up and be organized, and none of it got through to me until like 8 years after I'd moved out. Like I was incorrigible and uninterested, and I was like, well, as long as I know where my stuff is, why do I have to bother? And I just wouldn't do it. And then I moved out, and I was messy, and I didn't care. And then I moved out again, and then like eventually I started wanting to keep my place in the same standard that my parents had kept theirs. Like eventually their lessons kind of came back to me, but for whatever reason it just took years for them to click in. And I'm sure they would have been very frustrated to watch that in real time. So I guess the takeaway here is that if you, and not that you said anything like this, but if you feel like your lessons to your adolescent offspring are not getting through, they're probably getting through. It just might take them a real long time to come back around. You're just planting seeds that will sprout in 10 years after you're not living with them anymore. Do one run, get it? You'll get more Mog on Normal. I expect you will ignore this. I mean, that is fair. Yeah, why not? If I'm planning on running it 3 times anyways, then it doesn't... I guess the argument for doing it on Mythic first is that I can pick up the Mythic skip, and I can get one of it done, and then I don't have to worry about doing the Normal and the Heroic one. I mean, but that works the same way regardless. Let's just do it on Normal first. Just to prove you wrong. I'm going to listen to you out of spite. No, this character does not. She's too new. She is too baby to have the Nighthold skip. My hunter has it, because that ult was actually started before. Do I have Holy Nova? I might need to spec Holy Nova. This is gonna drive me nuts otherwise. Anything else that you would do for running old content aside from speccing Holy Nova plus the Rhapsody? Don't worry, I'll find another point to stick into Rhapsody. 12 seconds, you deal 10% additional damage and healing. Yeah, let's take this. I mean, I kind of want that one, but it doesn't really matter. Ooh, reflects damage. Character looks pretty old and decrepit to me. She is beautiful. Let's throw the Holy Nova on the bar. And hopefully I remember... hopefully I remember to... Eh? Oh, nice. I don't know what that was. Some kind of trinket? Oh, that might have been my flowstone. I didn't realize it had like an effect. At high tide, your next harmful or ranged ability launches a lava wave to crash on your target. I don't think I've ever actually seen the flowstone effect. I don't think it's ever occurred to me to like look for it. Have a friend who has tidy children because from the time they were tiny babies, she did micro adjustments, baby versions of the cleaning stuff. Aw. Correct them if they were ever untidy. Could have been adding the additional statement for a reason. Yeah, well. Ate a sandwich with gluten-free bread from Canada. Oh. Imported bread? What if you're from Canada and I lost my train of thought. Okay, so things that this character could use that drop from normal. Surprisingly, not that many things. There are some zone drops. There are definitely some zone drops that she could use. So she should be killing trash. Oh, she got a belt that she needed. That's nice. I got the Antiquated Highborn. Oh, I actually just completed the tier set. I got the belt. So this set is technically complete, so I could transmog it without needing to like save it. I could just select it out of the sets tab. Nice. That's so yeah, the Priest normal set is finished. The Priest Heroic set's also finished. She's missing 2 pieces from the Priest Mythic set. Increased trash drop rate and legacy content. I've heard a lot about it. I don't know if I've seen any extras. I got like a BOE and ICC, and I don't even know if that was one of the raids that they did. Yeah, Mythic Nighthold's totally soloable. You don't even need very much gear for it. Wanted faster uploads of streams to YouTube VOD. 1 hour should be good. Please and thank you. I know they've been a little bit slower. I've been, they have to process, and if I forget to start it, then it takes a little bit longer. I try and do them within the same day, but an hour might be a bit tough. Which I thank you for the 36-month resub. Another month, another Prime sub. Not a funny thought in my head for a stupid sub message, so have this joke. Why can't you explain puns to kleptomaniacs? Because they always take things. Literally. I get it. It's good. Spend 15 minutes setting every waypoint for Unborn Valkyrie and Northrend to find it at the first one. Oh, congrats on your pet! I think that's pretty lucky. Unless they've made it easier to get, which I don't know anything about. That one was kind of annoying for a long time because of phasing or something or another. Legion artifact weapon questline phasing. What do I need from you? Nothing. I actually even have the weapon illusion because I am a lucky duck. Chirhala, thank you for the 30-month resub. Very much appreciated. Dad jokes, vibes. I'm gonna... yeah, no, I didn't need anything from there. Trilliax has a helmet, which is probably like, what, mage recolor? Generic mage recolor? Yeah, I need these zone drops. I'm assuming their prices will fall, so if I don't get them, eventually, if enough other people are getting them, then the prices will come down. Because I would like to get all of this stuff, and I definitely need... It's cloaks. There's 3 cloaks that I'm missing that I could use in this character. There are 2 other zone drops. One of them is a mail belt, and then one of them is a plate belt. But they, my understanding is, will not drop in this character, even though they're BOEs. I don't really understand, but that's okay. I don't have to understand everything. Lucky duck, quack, quack. Thought while I was inputting all those coordinates, what if that happens? But I was like, nah. I mean, maybe you jinxed it. I used to have, like, you jinxed it into existence. I used to have this phenomenon where, as I would, like, casually farm a rare mob, you know, it would be like a Shadowlands rare, and I would bring my characters out there every once in a while, and I would kill it, and nothing would happen. And I would just kind of, like, drive by it when I was in the area, and nothing would ever happen. And then I was like, all right, fine. We're doing this. And I would take all 20 whatever of my max level characters, and I would move all of them out there, and I would set their hearthstones to a nearby place sometimes for unclear reasons. And I think maybe it was before, like, mailboxes or something. I don't know. I would, like, set everything up for those characters to be, like, parked out there farming it. And then it would drop at, like, my 3rd kill. It was, like, almost invariably the same day or the second day after I had moved everything out there. And I started to joke that I'd kind of jinxed it into existence. Googled stupid short jokes. You wouldn't be surprised at how many of those are pretty casually raises. I'd be disappointed. I don't know about surprised. I see cloaks dropping. I'm like, are they BOE? No, wait, I killed a boss. That's not how that works. Usually. Typically. Okie dokie. Up the stairs. I don't mind farming Nighthold because I know my way around now. Prices don't come down. Main people still doing old raids want the zone drops. But suppose eventually the price should come down because it's supply and demand. The demand stays fixed and the supply increases. You know, someone will get sick of trying to sell their thing when there's like 5 others up, and they'll be like, well, what if I could get this much? And by somebody, I mean me. I'm not the only person out here tanking log prices. Nighthold is pretty too, that helps. I like the purple. I guess it kind of matches my stream colors, my camera colors. So Trilliax did not drop me my helmet. Star Augur has 2 pieces. I'm surprised that I have this much of this mog. You know what it is I actually farmed... Cloth is kind of a terrible armor type for me to do this on, even though I would eventually like to have everything. But cloth is pretty terrible because I rated Nighthold as a clothy, so I would have done... I'm missing a lot of the LFR appearances, which is the one that doesn't have the mount chance. But I did this on a priest, so she actually got a bunch of this loot, just like normally, from normal and heroic. Not so much mythic, but I did a bunch of mythic farms while... I did a bunch of mythic clears while earning the skip on other priests, so that's why she has so much of this stuff. But she doesn't have all of it. Sold a cloak BOE from there for 14k, made me happy. I'll have to keep an eye out if I get anything that I don't need. Maybe I'll try and get a little bit more than like 500 gold for it. I guess I should make an effort to like actually clear some trash. Do I want to make an effort to actually clear trash? I don't know. Maybe. Here, you guys come with me. You guys come with me. Maybe to some extent, but not like... I don't know if I'll be super thorough. $246 kills in Gul'dan. Still no Green Infernal. Need nothing from Nighthold on any class on any difficulty anymore other than that mount. I have like 2 of the trash cloaks. Holy smokes. Killing trash in Tomb of Sargeras is good. Parawake boost chance. See how many mobs you can pull at once. I have this like horrible habit. Even when I am in no danger from trash mobs, I don't like doing very big pulls. This used to get me in big trouble in island expeditions because late island expeditions are like nowadays if you're farming them, the move was to basically pull the entire island and then to stop and round it all up and rinse it all down. And I just have this instinct that tells me to stop running and kill the stuff that I have before I go get more stuff. And even in content that's totally trivial, where that is an absolute colossal waste of time, I still have that instinct. Plus, you know, what if a lot of it's casters? I guess I have to go find a place to line of sight. Might eventually even out, but could take many decades. Many decades. Alrighty, let's go to Starhogger. Starhogger has stuff for me. He's got a cloak and he's got some boots. But yeah, I'm queen of killing my pole way too early. Cause yeah, here's stuff out here. Hello. Oh, this was stuff from the regular courtyard. Where Shadow Crush builds come in handy. I'm starting to think the toy doesn't exist from Gul'dan, or I'm just really bad with RNG. The Hearthstone card toy. I had some feeling there's some Gul'dan drop that's like class specific that there's some Gul'dan drop that's class specific. They did re-enable cross-realm trading. They finally sorted it out. They finally fixed it up. I'm going up these stairs. I've gotten turned around. It's a DH toy. Is this toy DH only, or is that a separate toy that's DH only? Is it the Hearthstone card, or do they have another thing? That's the thing that I don't know. Started Island Expeditions, not sure about the drop rates from the purple boxes. The card is not DH only, there's a class-specific toy. Okay. I think the Jiraxis was what threw me off. Any luck? Nope. Alrighty. I'm getting Vantis Rune techniques. Oh boy. Cause yeah, I haven't seen this card drop yet either. And I've done my fair share of Gul'dan as well. 9 personal orders from getting the personal crafter achieved. I'm so close. Nice. Yeah, some people collect profession recipes. I think that for the sake of my sanity, it's probably in everyone's best interest if I decide to not be one of those people. Appearances, even just deciding to do appearances for more than just one armor type feels like a bad idea that I'm doing. And I like to try to pace out my bad ideas, you know? Commit to just one mistake at a time. Alright, I need trash, so I'm going to pull all kinds of stuff here. I think they stun, so this could be a mistake. We'll see. I feel like I've gotten chain stunned by this trash before. Legacy main collects legacy tailoring recipes. Clothy, favorite clothies from Mog. Stop doing all 4 types, lowered it to just the 2 now. Yeah, no, I'm getting a ton of fun out of this. I want it all, though. I need to pace myself so I don't burn out, because I want to have a really impressive Mog collection. And I want it now. You know, like it's fun because I'm getting, you know, appearances every time I do stuff. Oh, it's the silences. But I don't know. You're still barely moving the overall needle, which is good. It means you're not going to run out of game anytime soon, but like you're not getting very far in a hurry. Yeah, I like being able to one-shot stuff with Holy Nova. Any BOEs? No? All right. When you run out of the easy ones that it starts getting? Yeah. And I guess there's every chance that when I run out of the easy ones, I'll just give up. I think I have an extraordinary amount of time before I even get close to running out of easy ones. There's just so much. But maybe not. Maybe I would catch up on easy ones and then I'll be like, well, geez. All right. Time to start doing Burning Crusade leatherworking or whatever it is that it happens to be. So nothing till Gul'dan. And I believe I do still have to do Croesus and Tichondrius. So we'll just go see if we can knock them out. Although, if I could get like some trash drops. Hello, excuse me. 1 BOE, please. Don't need to run Ice Crown for Shadowmoor and stuff now, but need to run it for Invincible and Precious as a Ribbon. Want the Mythic A&R shoulders for my warrior, but I can't out-solo it. I'm right there with you. It's doable, but it's so annoying. If you can find anyone else that's willing to run with you enough. Me? I have the ribbon. I got the ribbon twice. I was offering sympathies to someone who's about to farm it. I got the ribbon twice back to back on alts, just running through there randomly last week. It was crazy. I don't think I have it on my main, but I don't really need it on my main. I'll just wear it on any character that happens to get it. On the runway. You know what I'm getting? Gold. 2 gold. 6 gold. 14 gold. 1 gold. Another gold. It's everywhere. This is why you need to be a Zandalari troll. Get extra gold from the, just from mobs in general. Do I need anything from any of these grays? I'm getting kind of sidetracked. I think the BOE thing is going to throw me off because I'm going to feel tempted to go just chasing down trash. Being like, well, it could drop me my BOE and then I'm never going to get to Gul'dan. I should probably mostly just do trash in my way because I betcha I get the BOEs before I get the Infernal. Especially if I'm full clearing the raid. Because I got one randomly just in the Alisson trash when I was doing the skip and that wasn't even full clearing the whole raid. The BOEs and Nighthold have collapsed in price. But I was told that wouldn't happen for many decades. Oh, I got another crystallizing mana Vantage rune thing. Oh. I want... Although, I don't know if they're going to collapse in price to the point where I want to buy those. I think they're probably going to collapse in price or have collapsed in price from where they were. I don't know if they're going to be Hazel priced yet, though. I'll know I'm really in trouble when I start checking my all the things, or pardon me, my Data for Azeroth appearance ranking on the regular. I took a look, so I know that I'm in the 20s. I'm in the mid-20s for my realm. But it's a dangerous thing to know. Just makes you want to do it more. Holding off and collecting Shadowlands stuff when I can one-shot everything. We'll do the proto mount soon, though. Yeah, Shadowlands is a later me problem. I'm missing too many things from earlier expansions. There's just so many things that I could get. I don't know how anybody ever gets caught up to even just like 90% completion from like all of the old raids and dungeons on different armor types. Like I know it's because you just do it a lot, you know, but it seems like a lot. Also been doing Glory of the Hero for Wrath. Oculus still isn't soloable. Just have 50 the same armor type alt. It'll be an exciting day when I realize that in order to pursue my goal of having all of the things that I like need more alts, and that's also the most efficient thing that I could do at that particular moment in time. Because then I'll right now I got my alt leveling fix in kind of. I managed to level a fair few of them during the experience buffs, so I'm not dying to level more right now, but eventually I will be. You know, that's a need that recurs on a regular basis. You were not kidding when you said you were the queen? I mean, I was kidding a little bit. I'm not genuinely a monarch. I don't know if I'd want to be genuinely a monarch. Yes, you should time what? Oh, the queen of killing your pulse too early. Yeah. It's a deeply ingrained habit that I am aware of, and I know it's not ideal, but I've kind of made my peace with it. I just took that sentence in total isolation. I am hunting the green infernal, as well as anything else that this instance deems fit to drop for me. Here, I'm gonna get this stuff and then this stuff. Are you coming with me? See, they're not mad at me. Hello, excuse me. I've stomped all over your pedals. My horse has made a lot of noise right by your nose. It was very rude. Come with me, thank you. Get that mount. I'm cheating. I'm starting my mount runs a little bit early. Normally, I reserve Saturday and then maybe a little bit of Sunday for Gul'dan runs, but I figure if I'm full clearing the instance, that's not even my normal Gul'dan run. Normal Gul'dan runs are doing the skips. I got 5 characters that can skip, but this character can't. I'm just shocked that I have so much mog from this place. Nothing? Not nothing. Not nothing at all. Guess who got a beauty that she needs? Is this an argument in favor of round up your trash pulls? Nice. I have not collected that appearance. It's a winter drape. You can tell because it's a light gray color. One less thing on the list. Sell it for gold, you get to keep. No, I need that appearance. You understand. All right, we gotta go do Ellison and then Gul'dan because how did you hit reset? What if there's a what if you have a BOE? What if you have a BOE? No. Wonder if it's good for one's mental health to go solo old raids, see all those nice purple things drop for a few hours. I think that especially if you're looking, if your brain needs something that is nice and safe and calm and like an easy kind of win, I think mod collecting fits the bill, at least for me. There's more trash I haven't pulled yet. There's trash all along here. There's all kinds of stuff out here. I'm never gonna get to Gul'dan. Now I imagine you killing the 42,000 trolls one by one. It's very amusing. I ended up doing that. I started that way. I genuinely started doing that. And then I eventually caved and I set up a 2x4. I was running 2x4s for it. So I looted it personally. And I saw a few other people loot them too in the meantime. This stuff tethers. Okie dokie. What if he just drops the mount? Do I move? I think if he drops the mount, I get a new ATT random goal. Weapon transmogs might be my favorite thing. Last week, I got both Ashkandis from Blackrock Mountain back to back. Congrats! I can't wait for the next time. Oh, there's so much trash over here. There's so many things. I can't wait for the next time that I need to put together a transmog. And I've actually like got a substantial amount of additional stuff. I think it's going to take me ages to tab through everything and find something I want to wear. But I'm going to have so many choices. Running old instances with looter praiser set to 100. Nice old dopamine hit too. I used to really love that, and it lost some of its allure for me when I realized I was never going to actually have the patience to post mog for its genuine prices. So it was all a bit monopoly money. It was all kind of pretend value. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta go fight Gul'dan. There's more trash in front of Elisand. There's 2 more cloaks than I need, but then there's belts as well. So if I want to farm for the belts, are these zone drops also? They might be different on different difficulties. Plate and mail are the armor types. The cloaks I imagine are probably cheaper because they can drop for anybody. Looking at over 1,400 cloaks, it takes a while to choose one. The fun part is that I don't transmog cloaks that are just capes. I just don't. I will transmog back pieces that are the new ones they've been doing, that are backpacks and murlocs and eggs and, you know, wings and stuff like that. Daggers floating over your back, or, you know, bone wings. But I will not just put a normal cape on. I think capes look silly. It makes me feel like a Power Ranger. I don't ever transmog them, so you can make an argument that I should just not collect them, but, you know, it's a +1. Choosing a big category. Yeah. How many cloak transmogs do I have unlocked in total? Let me see. Appearances, items. Back. 984 of 1,407 according to the in-game UI. Some. Good amount. Ironically, the Power Rangers have no capes. Oops. Who am I thinking of? My next guess was Spider-Man, but I don't think he wears a cape either. Oh. Hi, Elisand. How you doing? Will you please tell Gul'dan that I'm here to see him? I want some Inari swings in the game as a mug. Superman, Batman. Both examples just wear cat suits. There was a season of Power Rangers that had capes. Power Rangers had a mild impact on my childhood. I was aware of them for sure. I don't know if I was a big fan. Eight personal orders. We need more coats. I do need more coats. My favorite is the Culturian Heritage Armor coat. It's beautiful. I also just have a thing for coats. In real life, I also like coats. I have to really restrain myself to not own an unreasonable amount of coats. I appreciate needing different amounts of like layering or windproofness or waterproofness for different weather. But, you know, there's only so many coats that you actually need. And I don't like having a super stuffed closet. So I do restrain myself. But I just like them. I think it's just because of the feeling of being able to provide for yourself the ability to be warm outside in the cold and wet. I just spent a little too long waiting for buses in the snow as a young person without a sufficient coat on. That now if I can get myself a nice coat, it's like extremely appealing to do so. Font of Night, there we go. An unreasonable amount of coats, and if we're including like everything like raincoats, windbreakers, we're not talking about sweaters, but anything that you would hang in the coat closet and put on exclusively to go outside. What do I have right now? I have one coat, two coats, rain shell, winter parka. I have 4 coats. That seems like a lot. You know, you could probably find one that does all of those things. And then in weather where you don't need a coat, I just won't wear one. They are the closest thing to capes. I wanted to buy a car coat. I wanted one that's not too long, has cool lining, didn't find one. This must be a regional thing. I've never in my life heard of a car coat. 4 I am considering to be reasonable. If I had 10, that would be starting to get away from me. Now, you can make arguments though that some things are not coats but jackets, and in that case, you're starting to get into other territory. I want to find a secondhand leather jacket that I really like, and I haven't been out to look. And also, it's not a big priority for me, so I haven't been looking because I kind of don't want to find one, because I don't want to have to buy it. But I do want one day. We have car coats in the Midwest USA. Okay, I'm gonna need someone to explain this to me. Moved from rainy, cold Oregon to hot and dry West Texas. Have an obscene amount of coats. Employer has a habit of giving us logo jackets for Christmas or fleece jackets. Yeah, I'm not shy about donating things if I don't like wearing them, and stuff like that is usually a prime candidate. It's a short trench coat without the double chest. Why is it called a car coat? Is your car chilly? I just wear, like, when I get in my car, I will either wear the same coat I had outside if it was like a medium, like a light coat. Or if it's winter, I will take off my big coat and I'll just chuck it in the back seat. Good luck on drops. Oh, why, thank you. Google Questions has, what is the meaning of car coats? What do they mean by this? What are they up to? I don't trust it. Logo ones from work because they're LL Beans so nice. Oh no, I would keep those too. They were designed for the cabinless cars from the 1900s. The default coat does not appear to be waterproof like they were in Canada. People use umbrellas when it rains in the UK. Huh. Yeah, I have most of my light jackets are water resistant, but not totally waterproof. But I have a bit, like an oversized shell that I can kind of layer over my other coats and jackets that would make them wind and rain proof. I look, you know, like a Yeti, but that's okay. It's not for fashion, it's for function. All right, one mount, please. Nope, no good. No mount, no toy. However, we go again. Do I have the skip? I don't see any here. Let's track trivial quests. I guess you pick it up in the beginning. I'll do the skip, or I'll start the skip quest when I get to mythic. This was just a normal clear. Let's, maybe I should learn these Vantage Rune techniques just so they stop dropping for me. Oh no, I need to train Legion Inscription. That's annoying. Yeah, no, I guess you would say that my rain shell isn't technically waterproof. If I went swimming in it, it's not a wetsuit, but it's waterproof enough for my uses. I can go for like a walk or a hike in the rain that is a couple of hours and my clothes will still be dry. I'm not like sleeping outside in it or anything. Got the Shaw of Anger today. 677 attempts. Congratulations. It's just one of the 2 mounts. So the red one is only on Mythic. That is true. I have that one already. I'm looking for the green one that can drop on other difficulties as well. But not LFR. Otherwise, I would be doing that because I need all kinds of transmog from LFR. I think I'm gonna keep these Vantage Rune techniques in my bags so that I can hang on a second. Keep these Vantage Rune techniques in my bags and then like train Legion Inscription and learn them just so they stop dropping because that's gonna drive me nuts. And then I learned that one already. If someone wants to buy that one, if that's unique enough to be posted at 3,000, I will ask for 50 gold for that. Somebody might want it. Okay. Yeah, I could do it now. I could do it now. Or I could do it later. I don't want to have to run all the way back out of here. Tabby Cat Warrior, if somebody said that, I think it's a pretty safe bet that you don't need to listen to anything else that they're saying. And I don't think very many people say that. Or at least I hope not. Loot, dungeon difficulty, raid difficulty. We're going to turn this down to heroic. Levitate at the front entrance. Is it faster than death, though? Alright, we're going to raid difficulty to heroic. And then we're going right back in. Gaming is weird. If a non-gamer asked you what you're doing and you told them I'm spending hours and hours every week running the same thing over and over to collect a mount I'm never going to ride, they'd probably look at you quite concerned. Yeah, maybe. That's probably fair. I'm going to pick up the skip quest, but I'll do it on Mythic. I'm not going to do it on normal or heroic. So, I need even fewer pieces of loot from this. I need a belt from Croesus, mount from Gul'dan, of course, and then zone drops, and that's it. So the actual bosses have barely anything for me. But we have to kill them anyways, because it's a full clear, so that's okay. The real reward, the friend we made along the way. I thought that fall damage didn't do, I might be mistaken, and I might be just incurring big repair bills, but I kind of thought that falling to your death didn't didn't damage your gear, or maybe it didn't damage your gear as much. Because at one point in my life, I was like taking my gear off and I was like falling nude from the sky. And then I stopped doing that. I don't remember if I got lazy or if I figured out that I didn't need to. Tailoring my responses to the audience usually. Look at you guys talking to other people. Look at you guys talking to non-gamers. I talk to non-gamers. I mean, aside from my parents and like my family who I talk about other things with, the only times in my life that it ever comes up is if I'm in like an Uber, and this doesn't happen. We don't even have Uber in Victoria, but like if I'm in a rideshare for way too long and somehow the topic ends up on hobbies. The last time I talked about gaming with a stranger was when I was taking my road exam in the States, and the young person that was supervising my driver's test exam thought it was really cool that I played video games, and I figured if I could talk about it enough that he would be more lenient with my scoring. And I passed my road test, so. He also said I'm a perfectly fine driver, so I think that's all right. I check for bikes before I change lanes, I promise. It was just so silly because I'd been immersed in I don't know, my own friend group for so long that having somebody be like surprised that I don't know, played Dark Souls was just so funny to me because, you know, like it's a really popular game that a lot of people have played. It's not like I'm out here doing, I don't know, what would be a really niche impressive thing to do? I don't know, esports. The DMV in Sherwood? It was a DMV somewhere. In the general Portland area. In gaming or in general? I don't know, I can't decide. I work pizza? I love that. I love the beginning of this phrase. I work pizza. I work pizza. One of the other stores has enough Warcraft players in it. They all yell, yes, chef, when the GM asks them to do something. Oh, that's excellent. I find myself seeing Twitch chat name colors as class colors. Ooh, do you guys choose your Twitch chat name color to match your class color? Because that's a fun idea. XP, thank you for the 2-month reset. Why do I want to say gold mix? I feel like the AU doesn't actually stand for AU. Maybe it does. Well, look at that. You caught a pig. Are you from Oregon? I am not, but I spent 7 years living around the greater Portland area. Twitch doesn't allow white. It would work. It would look great in my screen, but that's because Twitch is perma dark mode for me. BRB, changing my Twitch name pink. Not intentionally, but yes. You can choose? I believe you can choose. I believe you can choose. Here, let me mess with it and see if I... Well, first of all, what color is my name? Ooga booga boo. My name is purple. Is that just broadcaster purple? Do I have special rules? Chat settings. Chat appearance? Nah, that's something different. Edit chat identity when you click your name. I am 1,000 years old when it comes to stuff like this. Might not force your color for others than yourself. I want purple because the Warlock class color. User settings. Yeah, I'm never going to find it. I tried to remove a message and I banned somebody for minutes. Many of them. Mine appears pink. Do you mean a paladin? That's nice. Take what's given on these things. Yeah, that's fair. I think that maybe because I have my window set to both night mode and readability, you guys might appear a different color to me than you've chosen for yourself. Super Chief looks purple to me and not pink. The DMV in Sherwood is weird. Every male in my circle failed. Every female passed. Early 2000s, we think there was a secret mandate. I mean, it's possible, but also, did you see your male friends drive? Did they know how? Yeah. Super Chief appears Warlock purple here. Looks yellow to me. They changed how you change your color? Islay looks green to me. Islay looks like a hunter color to me. Blue now for Arcane Mage main. Had it to teal for Evoke. Super Chief light bluish color to me. Yeah, I guess it doesn't apply to everybody then. That's interesting. Click chat identity. I don't know where that is. Timeout removes messages. It does, but I also temp banned somebody when I did it by accident yesterday. I have a rule where I'm not allowed to mod anybody's chats, and that mostly includes my own as well. If anybody makes me an honorary mod, I make sure to keep my mouse very far away from chat if I'm ever in chat, because I am an absolute menace with it. I do nothing but fat finger bans. It's the acorn. I think my window must look different from yours. The only acorns I see are next to people's names, like their subs. That worked. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Jens. How you doing? I would only do slash commands when I was a Twitch mod. That's probably smart. That probably makes a lot of sense. Especially because the buttons move as chat moves. So if chat is moving at all, or worse, chat has been still and you think you can land, you know, an action on someone because the message hasn't moved, but then somebody else types something just as you begin to do that, all of a sudden you've accidentally banned the wrong person. They let me set unique times for the timeouts. Oh. Are you still a Twitch mod for people? They override the default if you like them to. It's the bar you type in. I don't have an acorn in my bar that I type in. I have a smiley face. I can put emotes. Oh, ho, 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 ho. There are more BOEs dropping. I don't know why I turned into a gremlin. Precious. I needed that one. Only in theory. Luke Goblin. One more transmog for me. Nice. But I need the winter drape again because evidently these have different recolors for each difficulty, or at least it looks the same to me. But I need it again apparently. Mod for a few people on paper but not in practice. I see. Would you like to be a mod? Found it? You can take off the Prime Gaming Badge if you want, unless you like the crown. There you go. Done. Always worth having a couple extra swords around. Trial period? It's mostly just to have, it's just nice to have a few extra people that can do things like remove ASCII art whenever I can't decide what it is. Oh, congrats. We're going... I want to go do Croesus first because Croesus has loot for me. I wouldn't stress too much about it. This is generally a pretty good pack of squirrels. I can, we do good. We haven't had any problems in a while. I don't think we've really had problems in a long time. Huge post disaster recently. Do you mean the art that was posted in the in the chat, or was it something else? Because that one, I mean, don't get me wrong, obscene, but it was hilarious to me because I didn't know what it was. Yeah, the mail equipment. I didn't know what it was because of the way that my window is resized. The message was broken up into like a bunch of pieces, so the art didn't come through for me. And I'm looking at it for like a few seconds being like, it kind of looks like birds. It kind of looked like a bunch of different little dancing birds. And I'm like, well, that's kind of cute. Maybe they're celebrating something. We have a no art policy, but huh. And then everybody in chat starts going, and I'm like, oh, that's probably not birds. I should probably get rid of that. Yeah. Hi, kitty cat. Welcome. Hi, baby. All right, you're back. You have to pay the cuddle tax. Nice. No, that wasn't a permaban. That was a like a 5-minute timeout, I think. Listen, someone asked for it. Hi. Hello. Hello. I know. You want to lay down on my lap? You want to sit on the chair. I kind of miss when she laid down on my lap. It wasn't me. No, it was me. I did that. All right. I want BOEs, so I kind of want to pull a bunch of trash. Do you think Croesus might give me my belt? Never seen anyone get banned on here. You have to really try. It has to, especially if we're familiar with you. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it would take willful continued ignorings of warnings if somebody can normally get along. Of course, sometimes some rando will come through and just drop something crazy, and that's just like a ban speed run, and that's fine. People do that in every stream. Do the follow bot things still happen? They've died down. I guess I don't know much about follow bots because I don't really look at my follower number, but there was view botting problems and there was like chat spam raid bot problems for a while. Or just, you know, hate raids were a thing for a hot minute, and they worked on some tools to help with that. And I think they've calmed down. There's always going to be something though. Hello. Hi. You may not be as cuddly when you're up on my chair like this, but you're so stinking cute. Hello. I'm thinking of trying to teach you that gates can be a nice thing. I'm gonna try and I want to introduce a baby gate so that I can sometimes reserve part of the apartment separately from her for the safety of every party involved. And in advance of that, I want to try and like maybe like just introduce her to it slowly and with treats. But I also need to find, maybe I need to mount some foam on it or something so that if she does run into it, because she can't see, baby gate, do. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, just as it seems like a good early acclimation measure if I was going to use a baby gate to help introduce her to anything that she might need a slow introduction to. I've also separately recently I was looking through different books and I picked up a dog training book and then I read the whole thing because I have a problem. And now I have this completely unrealistic fantasy that will crumble about my ears, that I will one day have a dog that I just teach like a bajillion tricks to that just listens to me perfectly, and I'm gonna get a dog and I'm gonna be like, this is nothing like it looked like it was gonna be in the book. It wasn't even a 600-page book. It was like a 248-page book. It was The Power of Positive Dog Training by Pat Miller. I did a bunch of looking around, and that was the one that was recommended on the most lists as like a good basic introduction to positive dog training. And I wanted just kind of one thing that was like thorough, but also still easy to understand, that I could just kind of use as like a consistent base for learning this, because I've had dogs before and I've lived with dogs before, but I've never raised one from like on my own. I've never been the primary source of dog training, so I wanted to learn more about it. Interrupting to say, I love how your hair color looks in the full light. Well, thank you. Drape a puffy comforter over the gate. There may need to be some amount of blanket or foam installations so that if she does run into it, she doesn't bonk her little nose. Really read 500 pages of recommendations before the 250-page book. Yeah, you know me. That was pretty much how it went. Being blessed by cat presence. But I am cautiously optimistic, as long as it's all taken very slowly and with a great deal of observation. She's lived with a dog before. She has gotten along with the dog just fine, and she lived with a dog for many years. So it's not that she couldn't live with another one. It would just take a great deal of introduction, because you would have to get to know doggy, huh? And ideally, it would be a nice, calm doggy that is interested in leaving you alone. And there are dogs like that. So, maybe. Yeah, every dog unique personality, intelligence. I don't have any details, but it's something I'm looking into with a great deal of vigor. Something that makes a noise of some kind so she can hear it. The beeping gate. I should probably take a break at some point. It's like 10:46. But if I take a break, Kitty Cat's gonna get up. She probably won't come back after. I cannot believe you cannot jump down that balcony. It gets me every time. Yeah, it's pretty rude. Have I done botanist on this character yet? Did I do botanist? I did do botanist. I did botanist, but I forgot Star Augur on this difficulty. That's rude. Oops. Do you know about the Muffin Man that lives on Drury Lane? Don't give up. Felt all dogs could learn. You just needed to figure out their motivations. I have two things on my side. One is that I am home basically all the time. And two is that I am, when I need to be, extremely patient. I'm not always patient in my personal life, but with my pets, I have a lot of. I like to think I have a lot of patience. I guess I've never had a young puppy before. I don't even know if that would be the thing. Speaking of Shrek, I might unironically watch the new Puss in Boots movie. It's supposed to be really good. That wouldn't surprise me, actually. Not you watching it or it being good. I've liked a lot of the Shrek movies. I haven't heard tether mode talked about in those terms. Tethering as a training tool was discussed somewhat in the book that I read. Under 2 dogs are exhausting. Puppies are good. Honestly, if I don't want to talk about this too much because I don't want to get anybody's hopes up too much, and I don't want to, like, I'm not committed to anything. I also am still working with the property manager about the dog like regulations for the building and stuff like that, and like what I want to do it above board. I don't want to be one of those people that has to hide the dog every time they're like taking it back to their apartment. So I'm in contact with them, sorting out what the right thing to do is. And they very well may say no puppies, in which case it would be no puppies. But I think that an actual puppy, while offering a lot of great opportunities, and while not something I'm ruling out, doesn't sound as appealing to me as getting a young dog that already has, is a little bit older and has, been socialized by a good foster and has their temperament understood already. But like I said, not committing to anything. What am I doing? I'm doing Croesus. Every single time after you bring them outside. A lot of benefits to adopting older pets. Baby animals need training. I would want to do a lot of training with any dog that I got. But puppies are babies. They need such, any dog's going to need care and understanding and helping to fit in. But puppies are babies. You have the perfect hair for watching Barbie. I painted my nails Barbie pink too. I'm apparently getting into the spirit of it, even though I haven't seen the Barbie movie yet. And mouthy. I heard them described as fur-wrapped sharks. Puppies are clumsy babies indeed. Mom dogs also teach puppies. The other thing I have going for me in the potential raising and introducing of a dog project is that I'm not doing it. I said doing it alone, but I'm not doing it alone. Didn't have anything pink to wear to Barbie. They like to chew. Yeah, they're teething apparently, right? Like they need to chew both for energy release and anxiety release, but they're actually teething, so they really do need to. I wanna find all the best chew toys. I felt like I feel like, and I'm so spoiled because this cat is not a dog. She's a cat, but she is an angel. And I have had really good success with her. Hi, sweetheart. I've had really good success with her redirecting any behavior that I don't want, using either just like management, like putting something that she doesn't like down in the area, or just literally redirecting it. So she starts to scratch the couch. I have picked her up, put her on the scratching post, and then given her a treat after she scratched. And I did that, I don't know how many times, but no, it didn't take that many. And now I will see her put her paws up on the couch because the post is right in front of it, and then be like, no, this isn't right. And she'll take her paws off the couch and she'll put them on the scratching post and she'll go, yes, this is the spot. And she's just perfect angel, 10 out of 10, no notes, no luck on the belt. So I feel like that same sort of principle, and what I was reading in the training book indicates that will potentially work, but you might have to be very patient. It might not work right away. Things might take a lot of work. She's not a dog. I am assuming Kitty had sisters and brothers in her litter. I don't know much. We got her cat adoption team, and she was one of many, many kittens that they had for adoption. But I think it's pretty unusual for kittens to be born in a litter of just one, right? She's not a dog? YouTube WoW channel uses your voice through AI? That's terrifying. I'm not aware of that. I also don't know if I have any recourse. I don't know if there's anything I can reasonably do without, making a gigantic mess and spending a bunch of money. Had treats. But yeah, she's a real sweet girl. Treating catnip, gentle removal of paws. Worked just fine for us too. The backup plan is that if there's a spot that she finds to be like irresistible, I'll just cover that spot with like a blanket and then she doesn't worry about it anymore. Cease and desist works. You tend to have to file those legally with legal names and stuff, though, which is a problem if you're concerned about doxing. The problem with the voice back updating isn't me recording voice lines, it's me navigating how to package and upload an add-on without breaking it. It's Hazel looking in Notepad++ being like, please don't mess anything up, please don't mess anything up. Have I seen the new season of Black Mirror? No, I actually currently, and for the last couple of months, I've had my TV away. I've been on a break from watching any kind of videos or movies or anything like that to try and improve my focus. And basically all it's done is made me game more, but... Well, no, that's not true. I read books more now, too. But I haven't watched any TV or videos or anything like that since June. I think I put it away in mid-June. She'll scratch other things when she wants my attention because she knows it'll get my attention fast. Gaming more is good. I haven't reached my key capacity yet. I can't believe you haven't reached... Have you reached your avarice capacity yet? You do a prodigious amount of avarice. Hello. You want to purr for microphone? You're kind of... I bet it's picking it up a little bit. Yay. I trained her, but she trained me right back. That's, I think, the hardest thing with pets is figuring... Like, obviously, any behavior that gets reinforced is going to get reinforced. And it's hard sometimes to figure out how to exist with them without reinforcing the behavior that you don't want while still keeping the peace and meeting their needs. It's a problem that a lot of people end up with their cats, where the cat learns that it can annoy them to get food. And it learns that it can do this very early in the morning. And then you want to go back to bed, but the only way the cat's going to leave you alone is if you feed it. And in theory, if you have set feeding times and if you stick to those and you are, you know, made of stone and you don't give in, you don't give the cat the reward it's looking for when it exhibits that behavior, it won't do it forever. It does it because it knows that it works. But practically, that is a lot easier said than done. And I don't judge anybody who's getting out of bed at the crack of dawn to feed their cat because their cat has come along and meowed at them, or whatever it is that they do to get you out of bed. I don't judge anybody one bit. You got to live with your own pets. Dogs do that too. Yeah. Had to hear her out of it when she first came to me. They can be very, very stubborn. She would scream at ungodly hours for food. Mine will drool on my face to wake me up in the morning. Yeah, they're capable of being very disruptive when they want to be. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. And it's difficult. Especially if the thing that is... If it's something that just, like, has to happen anyways. Haley, I feel you on that. 2 weeks of me treating her whenever she stopped yelling at dark 30. That's good though. Some people live with it for 10 years. They will keep you on schedule though. She will come get me out of bed if I'm sleeping in, but her definition of me sleeping in, like, she'll only do it when she's worried. If it's a day off and I'm still in bed and it's like 10:30 in the morning, she'll jump up in bed and be like, "Mom, are you dead?" And I'll be like, "You're right, I should get up." Usually when my cat wants me to do something, she has a point. So she's just kind of a little life coach. Nothing that this particular cat asks of me these days is unreasonable. The only thing is sometimes after I go to bed or while I'm streaming, you will go to the living room and you'll meow at the top of your lungs. And most of the time I have you figured out and I don't know what that one's about. You know where I am. You're not lost. You've got food. You've got water. We've stuck to the routine. Sometimes I like to think she's just writing in her little cat diary. She's just like telling the night about her feelings, you know? And sometimes you'll give it up and then sometimes you'll start doing it again. And as far as I can tell, you've been to the vet. You're otherwise behaving normally. You don't seem to be in any pain. I don't know. Sometimes cats are just going to cat. Come Come on, Goldani DeVito. There's a new one. Hi, Goldan. How are you? Got the mythic Goldan mount when it was current. Never tried farming for the green one, though. It's being, a little bit stubborn for me. Can she have treats? Maybe she wants extra treats? I mean, she can always have treats, but I think that if I start to give her treats every time she meows late at night, that's gonna end up in me having to do that every day. The thing that she shakes me down for right now that I don't have the heart to deny her because it's like too cute and also too harmless is this cat is a fiend for ice cubes. She's picked this habit up like maybe a couple months ago, and she's realized that she wants nothing more in her life than for me to put an ice cube on the floor so she can lick it and bat it around while it melts. It's her favorite thing. And she will run. She's blind, so she will sometimes hit things, but she will run to the freezer if she hears you open it for any reason. She will brave the kitchen fan, which she hates. And then she will, like, you know, pause up on the counter, which she also never does, and then like, she will insist. And I don't give it to her every time. But sometimes I'm just like, yeah, okay, you can have some ice. And she's so happy. And she'll be engaged for the entire time that it's melting. And it's just ice. You know, I'm not feeding her gravy. It's not that hot. No, it doesn't. She does this even when it's not warm out. It's not a temperature thing. She also still likes the shower. So she's not over that. Any luck? No. But it's in addition to it. And she's a big fan. I was telling the vet about it, and they tested her kidney function to make sure she didn't have some kind of thing that was making her extra thirsty. But she treats her water bowls with the normal level. Like, she'll drink from her water bowls, and I keep them clean, and those are fine. But if she can find water that's on a surface, like the watering can or my legs after a shower or the ice cube, that's like a million times better for some reason. She has to find the water. It has to be her idea. But yeah, it's really easy to keep her hydrated, which is nice. She's got good hydration levels. Your kidneys work fine. I appreciate that. Good kitten knee function. But yeah, cat's a fiend for ice cubes. And sometimes she loses it, and then I'll tap on the ice cube to help her find where it is. And then last night I did this to her, and she kind of pushed it underneath a closet door. And then she was trying to paw underneath and get it, and she couldn't get it out. And then she like looked back to where I was, or turned her head back anyways, because I know she can't see me, but she went, meow. And it just seemed like she was like, Mom, help, it's lost. So I fished it out for her. And then she got it stuck again. And then I fished it out and I put it in a different spot. But you do have to remember to check back on it, because she will eventually lose it, and then it melts, and then you've got a puddle. So you have to make sure you wipe that up before it gets to be a problem. Okay, I need to clean up my bags. I forgot. I need to do this one more time on Mythic difficulty. I may as well train Legion Inscription while I'm back in Dalaran. I may as well do that, but I also need to take a break at some point. Cats might think water that just sits in a bowl might be stagnant. Yeah, I think that's fair. She likes having her bowl changed quite often, and she much prefers to find water, so I think that's reasonable. Funnily enough, a lot of cats really like moving water for that reason. So cat water fountains are very popular. There's different kinds of water bowls that have like a little pump in them that move the water around or like pour it down a surface or whatever. I had one for her, and she did not like the fountain. She did not care for the fountain. She actually drank more when I took it away and just made it a water bowl. Like, I turned it off and she was like, okay, fine. But she did not like the fountain. She wants her water to be on a surface, somewhat in a puddle, not moving, but also discovered. It's pretty funny. Look at all these recipes. Okay. Let's take her back. And then I'm going to take a very short break. One sec. She always follows me now when I get up. Finding water in weird places is pretty common. I think it just surprised me because it snuck up on me. Like, it wasn't something that I had noticed from her, like, in her earlier years. It seemed to come kind of all of a sudden. But, you know, I think if I think back, she's always liked licking water off of my ankles after a shower. So maybe she started young and she's just very slowly expanded her water finding techniques. One of these places must be Inscription. Cats respond well to keeping water away from food sources. Mine will drink from the bowl that's right next to her food bowl, but she does have other water bowls, or she has at least one other water bowl in a completely different room. Totally different place that she seems to prefer. She does this thing, though, where she'll sit right in front of it, and she'll scratch herself, and a little shower of hair will come off of her and land in her bowl. And then she looks in her bowl and she's like, wow, there's hair in this. And I guess I'm projecting, you know, she doesn't use English yet. But it seems to me that there would be less hair in the bowl if you did not do that. Oh, here we go. I would like to learn Legion Inscription. Just to, tell me about Inscription. I know Inscription. Why will he not filter me Legion Inscription? How do I learn Legion Inscription? Do I have to do this? Oh, I see. I do have to do this. I have to sign the contract. Pardon me. I was trying to get away without signing it. There we go. That confused me very much. I was expecting to just have to train it. They have quest lines, apparently. A lot of my alts get shaken down by these Legion Class Hall quest intro people every time they come out. Well, I'm looking forward to not having to, I'm looking forward to not having to delete these recipes every time. I suppose I can also learn Legion Alchemy just to get this prolonged power thing to go away. Did you not do the leatherworking quest for the mount? Leatherworking quest. Which mount? I've done lots of things. It's other things I haven't done. Sometimes I lose track. Alchemy was the bubbly one. This is the coolest building, by the way. I love this. That's so sick. If alchemy products were something I needed to buy in real life, I would want the room to look like that. Yeah, because this guy will just train me Legion Alchemy. Like, if I want Legion Alchemy 1, he'll just give it to me. Unfortunate that Blood of Sargeras Spina pick up still. Be concerned about the fumes. I imagine. Well, how does it sound? I imagine it's just like a visual thing, you know. They're just boiling like syrup with food coloring in it or something. I don't know why it had to be edible. Something more shelf stable than that. Oh, the white moose mount, Legion leatherworking one. Do you know what it's called? Elderhorn something? Oh yeah, no. Did you see a quest on my map that was like, hey, you could get this? Because I did not do that. I never got around to it. It's cool. I should do. Can you use it even if you're not a leather worker? Because, I mean, if I ever saw a hazel mound, it would be that one. Count wood. Yep, definitely should make that. Moose is on my short list of dog names. It's a common dog name, but it's a good one. I think that if you're going to have a dog named Moose, though, it must be either a very large dog or a very small dog. Because on a large dog, it fits, and on a small dog, it's hilarious. Inflatable mount shoes are mount equipment that allows you to walk on water. You can also get one that makes your mount a little bit faster. You can get one that prevents you from being dazed while on your mount. But it just means that if she's like, I don't know, in a dungeon or something and she's on a grand mount, she can water walk. I am raid difficulty mythic this time. I spent all this time just doing Nighthold runs on one cloth-wearing character. Who else could do full clears? I mean, all my characters with skips could technically do full clears. There's nothing that says that you must use your skip. But I feel like because they have skips, I may as well use the skips and then save the full clears for characters that don't have the skip unlocked yet so they can unlock the skip. Yeah, the fish is pretty good. Easy to get. Add to the to-do list. Yeah, exactly like the Angler Water Strider things. It's just a crafted version of it for people that didn't do the Angler's Rep. Looks so bad with a 5-month resub. Thank you very much. My uncle had a dog named Miss Mooseface. Nightflame for Mog. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that that Nightflame should definitely do this. I am running this on the worst possible character. I think I just chose it because she has gear. Not that you really need it for Legion anymore anyways. It helps, but you're gonna be just fine regardless. Yeah, Nightflame would be a pretty fast run too, because he can really book it. He can really make some. There's a toy I don't have for Withered Army training. Heaven help me. Very fond of the name Finley. He'd be named after a very special pup. I don't know what the reference is, but I like the name Finn. I have that on my short list too. What do you find is a nice alt leveling zone? I tend to favor the old zones, that like the old starter and starter adjacent areas. So I level characters in like Wetlands and Loch Modan. I level them in Westfall and in Duskwood. I level them in like Silverpine Forest and Hillsbrad Foothills. Is usually my favorite thing to do. On Mythic, she doesn't need a gosh darn thing except for the zone drops and the actual Gul'dan mount. So let's make sure we pick up the skip, shall we? Don't forget the quest. Yes. Got Doom Rumble. Oh, congratulations. Oh, he was my pup. He was an adventure dog, loved hiking and exploring. Oh, I think it's a wonderful name for a doggy. I had a lot of reservations about like how old is too old to rename a dog, and I was doing some research into it, and apparently it's not as big of a deal as I thought it was. It's not like you're going to give them an identity crisis. The dog's name is basically a cue for them, like it's a command that's supposed to get their attention, and it could be any word that you want. So it's not, you know, your dog's not going to mourn their past life where they were bubbles before they became, you know, buttons. That's more of like a human projection thing than it is an actual dog thing. Such a nice clean list. You know, that's a lovely way to look at it. That's true. Transmog farming? Mog and also a little bit mount farming. I need the Fellblaze Infernal. I need the Living Infernal core off of Gul'dan. To my side. That's the other thing I was reading about, is how you can use all kinds of different cues. And I mean, I think I knew this, but I never really thought about it before. There's nothing that says you have to say come for come here. And with a dog that has learned to only intermittently respond to that because they might have had that cue poisoned by inconsistent behavior before that from the trainer, not the dog, it might be beneficial to pick a different word. So I could genuinely have to me be the cue for come or to my side, and that could actually work. I would be maybe a little embarrassed at the dog park, but vengeance to me. So glad I don't have to farm those mounts anymore. This thing is so long. Yeah, it's a nice long raid. It's got beautiful transmog though. For the horde. Tony, for your voice more than what you say. I think that the specific word and the sound of the command can certainly be taught and can mean something, or can be brought to mean something to a dog. But yeah, I think tone is important. Avengers, assemble. How do you feel about the Kill Jaden fight? I'm glad I don't. I guess I might have to do it for transmog on other classes. I don't love it. It might be nicer in another expansion when you do so much damage that you don't really have to. If I can skip the knockback phase, that would be better. I can do the knockback phase. I don't. It's better than like ENR, but it still sucks. Yeah, supposedly the thing that dogs are really, really, really keen at is reading your body language. So they'll get your mood from your tone of voice, but they'll more get your mood from your your posture and your everything about the way that your body language is, because that's how they communicate with each other. Sometimes he pops down too. The one I run to isn't the one. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of brutal. What is this cube? An inscription thing, maybe? Profession thing? I don't remember what that is. A Tumblr post about how someone who adopted 2 young kittens come here sounded too much like one of the kittens' names, so they changed it to Hey Gamers. I'm just imagining asking like my mother to dog sit for my dog and leaving like a list of all of the verbal cues that I've taught the dog, and they're none of the normal ones. And my poor mother trying to summon my dog with "to me." Honestly, I don't think "to me" is that cringy. I think "to my side" is a little bit much. And also maybe a bit of a mouthful. First dog would come, heel, sit, wait. Based on my facial expressions, she was my heart dog. Take great pleasure in having uncommon cues for a dog. Turn things in like that so they don't keep popping up. Yeah, that's a good idea. I guess I'll hide the quest for now. Hi, Trilliax. Thirsty. Am I getting lots of gold? I guess it's hard to say. I spent some gold on this character. It's all kind of weird, but people are talking to their home robots now, so maybe it's not that bad. My cat's names are Instigator and Captain. Can you guess who gets into trouble all the time? Oh. Calcineus. Heal. I mean, I'm sure there must be somebody who, along a similar line of reasoning, has named their dog Achilles. Is it just me, or is Achilles kind of a sick name for a dog? I don't know if I've delved ancient mythology enough for names. Like, you know, we've all seen a Thor and an Odin, but where's Agamemnon, you know? Clytemnestra. My friend is a cat called Achilles. She really missed a trick there. Agamemnon, I think, is Greek. It is, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Is Achilles not Greek? I am admittedly super uninformed about that kind of thing. Ajax is a sick pet name. Ajax is a cleaning brand. I see what you're saying, but in my brain, that would be like naming my cat Lysol. And I'm not saying I wouldn't name a cat Lysol, but it would just be like, hey, Clorox, come here. Both are Greek. Okay. Okay. I thought so. Name a pet Mr. Clean. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess I was equating like Odin and Thor to Achilles and Agamemnon, which is not a straight connection. I'm getting my my cultures mixed up. Oh, Tide's kind of cute. I might add that to the list of names. I love like northwesty nature names. I would consider naming a dog Orca, or like, you know, River or Mist or something like that. Tide's kind of cool. I mean, it's also a laundry detergent, but what isn't, you know? It's all European. This is big of you to say as a European. Pine. Oak. Oakley. Do you think that if I name my dog Oatly, people won't think it's an oat milk brand because we're in Canada? No. I'm just, I keep a short list, and then I figure one day, if I have a doggy and I'm looking for a doggy name, I can consult my short list, and I can consult the doggy, and I can get to know the doggy a little bit and see what feels right for said doggy. Cat's name is Juniper. That's a very cute name for a kitty cat. I love all of the like botanical names. I love all the urban plant names. How far do you think Canada will get in the Women's World Cup? I know how much you like sports ball. I know people are excited about it. I don't know anything, but I think that our team is quite good, and I root for them because they are Canadian and women, and I'm in favor of both categories of people. So go Team Canada. They're gonna win. I know it. Juniper is good. I think you are biased. As a Canadian woman, I am biased towards Canadian women. Magnolia is cute. I also have Navigator. Navi. Glitter World Quest is up in the caverns, complete for a chance at the secret toy. I didn't know there was a toy associated with that. That's kind of cool. The one problem with running this raid back to back to back is that if you're doing it in anything remotely approaching an inconsistent order, I get kind of confused about which bosses I've killed already, because I'll be like, I know I killed Tichondrius, but did I kill him this run or did I kill him last run? And I can get kind of out of sorts about it. Fern's a very cute name too. Pemberton, Concord, Winthrop. Concord will forever be a plane to me. Yeah, I think I'm doing myself a big disservice by mixing up my order. I have to keep checking my lockout to see who's actually been killed. I always do the same route here now. Because I'm pretty... Yeah, no, I have yet to go do Botanist. I'm doing Tichondrius first, which doesn't make any sense. And I did Star Augur and I forgot Botanist. I'm a mess. I am all over the place. Holy moly. Also, how did it become 20 after 11 already? I wasn't going to do a long stream today because it's Friday and I thought I would give myself a leg up and try and start early, but... Cicero is a router brand. Don't get me wrong. All of these brands and stuff are like named after cool names. Like there's a reason they've chosen those names. It's not like they came up with the word, but they like these things are tainted to me. They will forever remind me of the other thing. Consider we are chillin'. Meet my dog, Lynxus. We are chillin'. Any BOEs? Haven't gotten 2 BOEs today. I do feel like they are dropping more often. The router is Cisco, not Cicero. You know what? You're absolutely right. Meet my dog, Windows 98. Oh. WH40K, named the dog Corn. I think that's a good name. I would forget that it's named Corn after a Warhammer character though, and I would just start calling it Corn on the Cob. It's like if I had a dog and I named him Bug, I would start calling him Bugs Bunny because I'm an incorrigible nicknamer. This is my cat Linux. Out of a dumpster with some bites. I feel like there genuinely must be quite a few cats named Linux. In like tech themed names, I know that you get quite a few kitties named Gizmo. There's probably dogs named Gizmo too. Theorex is a great name if you clone your pet. Is that a thing people... I've heard of that, but is that a thing people genuinely do? It's kind of terrifying. It's a bit too Black Mirror for me. They're the seed you plant for nicknames to grow. Corn on the Cob would be a bad name for a Dachshund. Gizmo and Doodad. Doodad would be a new one to me. People do it. Yeah. Yeah, I can't judge, but it's just a bit... It's out of my own comfort zone. Available to rich people. I had a mouse named Gizmo. He was very sweet. My cat's name is Gizmo. Nibble. Half a bite. Yeah, Nibble's cute. How expensive are we talking? Yeah. Because, like, my initial instinct is that I would want to leave the memory of my pet in peace and appreciate the time I had with them, and then use the space in my home to get to know another animal who has their own personality and needs a home, as opposed to, you know, spending a lot of money to clone my animal. But I can see that, you know, it might not seem quite so simple and black and white when you're, you know, deep in grief for like a very special pet. Google says it's currently 50K. Would the clone retain the personality? I think it's entirely possible. Like, that's a very old discussion about nature and nurture, and I feel like it would share some characteristics, but unless you manage to perfectly replicate that cat's or dog's or whatever entire life, it's not going to be exactly the same. And somebody that's paying that kind of money probably wants to be exactly the same. I don't know, any good arguments? Yeah. Pretty much the plot of Pet Sematary. Don't want to go down that road. But it's easy for me to say because my cat's gonna live forever. The Taiwan dog toy is my favorite. The Taiwan dog toy is so huge. It's so big. Yeah, not sure debating nature and nurture in stream's a good idea. It's weird to me how controversial that gets. I remember reading about that debate in like old psychology textbooks, and I just thought it was like an interesting academic thing, like a research-based argument, and apparently people get like really uptight about it. Even if the dog's the same, I'm not the same person I was before. So much stuff. You get so much loot from this instance. Hi, am I ready for Gul'dan yet? Did I do it? No, we gotta go do Croesus. I forgot about Croesus. Any BOEs? No. It's almost like this place was made for more than one person. No. Are you trying to tell me that Blizzard didn't make this lovely place just for me to spend my days in all alone? Implications of different extreme positions can be offensive to some, I guess. I suppose so. Not trying to tell you anything, I know better. It's funny how over time the streamer can be kind of, to some extent, trained by their chat, but that the reverse can also be to some extent true. I don't think of myself as like a super sensitive, uptight person, but I think I might need to revisit that assumption because of the way that my friends in Twitch chat treat me. I think that perhaps I am more uptight than I let on because of how cautious some people behave in my presence. Also joking. Yeah. I like to think that my friends are too, but stuck in combat for most of Nighthold, so annoying. I'm shocked that hasn't happened to me yet today. We're just a nice chat. You are a very nice chat. Crisis. Glad it works that way. If I behave like that in a stream where I don't quote unquote know the streamer, it wouldn't last very long. I like the I like that because I guess for social reasons I don't entirely understand, but I like that as a chat / stream we can kind of develop this space where there's almost like a microculture here, which I appreciate. What am I trying to say? I have a thought, and usually I'm pretty good at articulating my thoughts into words, and this one's just not cooperating. We have an atmosphere. Yeah. But it's something that, like, sometimes you'll see somebody new come in and they'll chat for a bit. And at first you can tell that they haven't spent much time here. But it's totally fine because everybody's welcome and we do love new people. And it's interesting to see as people hang out for longer and longer, the more we kind of settle into, like, the rhythms and people get to know each other. I think this is just Hazel discovering the concept of acquaintances. But I enjoy it because I don't get a lot of it in my life. Are we a clique? A little bit. Chat culture varies from stream to stream in my experience. Yeah, I think it is hard to read the room with chat rooms and stuff. Sometimes words are hard. I have come to understand about myself that if I get overwhelmed or overstimulated, my word maker breaks down and I will revert to speaking in like one word sentences, if at all. And I know that I'm not actually mute or anything like that. It's just sometimes that makes it easier for me to kind of get through the next hour or so and to like calm down. Kind of spoiled with this place. Ventured into other streams. Their culture can be harsh. I bet you there's a lot of streams like this though. I bet you there's a lot of streams, especially within smaller streams, that don't like front page super often, because it is hard to maintain a culture in. Oh, now I get the rank 2 version. It is hard, I think, to maintain a culture in like a big stream that has a really active chat. Especially, I feel like there must come a point where if your chat is so big and so, I want to almost like mainstream that they kind of take on their own identity and make a game out of antagonizing the streamer, you end up kind of with less of a nice vibe. Depends a lot on the streamer. But I feel like we generally give each other the benefit of the doubt, which is nice. Yeah, I cannot translate that thought out of my brain. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Nope. Antagonizing anybody is there is something wrong. It's against our rules, and it will lead to bans. Be more cautious about some topics. Banned for having an unpopular position, standing up for it. Streamers saying it's causing a problem. And I think it's easy to hear about that in that context and be like, well, that's not very fair. And it's true, but I think that I think there is some argument for people maintaining streams to don't rock the boat rules for the sake of peace. I think that, especially with some people, especially if you end up in a situation where you have two people that get into it, even if it's about something innocuous and they just won't let it go, it can escalate to the point that it's kind of a problem for the atmosphere. And there are places for that, but streams just generally aren't one of them. I don't know if like a ban is the right move for that, but I do think that instinct to kind of make nice a little bit is probably not a bad instinct to have here, and it might be one of the reasons why we get to chill. Hi. I'm pretty confident in most cases that if we're having a discussion, we don't all have the same viewpoint, that we can agree to disagree reasonably well, as long as it's not about something like bigotry. Yeah, I think that with larger audiences, and I think you've got some wiggle room before you get to that point. When I think of larger audiences, I think of like these 20,000 plus viewer streams where chat is just like a constantly rolling like news ticker. That's very different. I think that people can have like 500,000, 2,000, up to like 5,000 viewer streams where chat is like not really that much faster than what we have now. But when you get to that huge size, good luck. I hope that you can fix your mental health with your money, because that's a tough thing to expose yourself to all the time. I guess there's other ways to cope too. I think that there's probably plenty of streamers that are at that size that have found a way to make their stream not heavily chat interaction based, so that they can just kind of leave it to their mods and not look at it, and that would work as well. Hi, welcome back. 10K plus is when I cannot follow chat anymore. Pokemon can read all their chat no matter how fast it goes, react accordingly. Super impressive. This chat, don't get me wrong, it does move, but it doesn't move at like an unreadable speed or anything. But it still shocks me how I will go back and I'll look at my VOD with chat replay sometimes, and I will reread chat, and there will be messages that I just missed 100%, just did not see, never crossed my radar, had no idea that somebody said something like that. And I don't know how, because like I was reading chat. I don't know if it's some of them just, if it's something about my brain or something about the format, but I've never been capable of reading 100% of it, at least not in the last couple of years. I do my best, and we hit most of it, but there will always be stuff that especially if there's something else going on in the game for a bit during it, there's always gonna be stuff I straight up miss. Because sometimes I'll look back and I'll see a message, I'll be like, hey, I had an answer for that question, or what do you mean? You're also gaming. Did you see my message about my dog being named Godiva? I didn't. After the chocolate? Is it a chocolate lab? Or a dog that is brown? Which can include lots of dogs that aren't chocolate labs. Yeah, sometimes I will skip over a message if for whatever reason I think it's not... If for whatever reason I don't want to read it. Sometimes I will skip over one. But a lot of the time I just didn't see it. Didn't even repeat the Bagel bait joke. See, I missed that too. Bagel bait. I wish I need... Could you repeat it? Do you remember it? I need context. Or is that the whole joke? Is that the thing? Because we had a bagel debate? We did have a bagel debate. Was it a bagel debate? I feel like I'm summoning something. Named after Lady Godiva, the shelter name turned, we kept it. Oh. Cutie. You get it? Uh-huh. Oh, man. Hello, Illidan. Could you please tell Gul'dan I would like a mount, please? I guess he would be on his corpse. Ta-da-da. Nope. I'm getting all kinds of... Oh, that's funny. I wonder if I can actually make some gold off that. I can now learn the grimoire that teaches warlocks the abyssal appearance. I wonder if that's profitable. Do I have, craft sim on this character? I should. Because this is just Dragonel's inscription, right? Yeah, it is. $1,500. Ah, so roseate pigment. Commonly found while milling herbs native to the Broken Isles. Interesting. What are some cheap herbs native to the Broken Isles? What on earth were we herbing in this expansion? Fox. No. Foxflower? Oh no, Foxflower, that's one of them, but those are 9. So Legion herbing's worth now. Explain to you the Volpera Bag of Tricks racial has more abilities for it that can drop in old raids. I think I read that message and I didn't understand it and I didn't have the bandwidth to hash it out at that moment, so I think I just let that one go. I still don't understand. Sometimes if I see something like that where not only do I not understand, but I feel quite far from understanding, I decide to just give up because trying to figure it out on stream is something that sometimes causes me some embarrassment and is really difficult to do. Whenever I'm streaming, I feel like I only get about 2/3 of my brain to work with because the other third is thinking about, you're on camera, you're on the internet, people can see you. And it's very hard for me to learn stuff. Dreamleaf, that's what it was called. Not me wanting to go Urban Legion. Dreamleaf. Yeah, no, these are really valuable. That's funny. Am I doing the rotation right? The answer is no. No, you're not. I want to do Night Flame, but it's 11:40. How did time fly so fast? Oh, Legion Herbs? Oh no, it would be, pardon me, Super Gone. I'm using an auction house add-on called Auctionator. Any tips for knowing whether or not Vault of Archon's available? I don't have any tips for that. Maybe chat does. Okay, so we have a bunch of stuff we could sell. Oh, I got plate BOE green bracers that I apparently don't know the appearance of, so I can send those to Crinkle. Every now and then I'll be vendoring a gray, and it'll be like, this has been added to your appearance collection. I'm like, oh, thanks. I didn't know I was missing it. It's probably just an item ID. Took a baby crew through their first key. The under eye has never been so cute. Does Auctionator show you how many of an item it's seen? It'll show you how many it's up currently. I don't know how well it does historical data, though. Legion Herb is worth more than Knock and Bloom. Evidently. I haven't thought about Legion Herbing in a long time. I did have it. The zone that Halls of Valor is in, the herb that was like native to that zone had a name that was hard to pronounce, and I'm spacing on all of those words. I don't even remember what that zone is called. That's how much I don't remember Legion. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Fjarnskoggle is how I'm going with it, and I'm pretty sure that's not right. If you guys have any other ideas, I'm open to them. Crinkle can take some bracers. Let's go spiders are sick. Okay. Oh, good. A triumphant roar echoes from atop the seat of the aspects. Maybe that'll be me one day. Call that herb Fang, left it at that. Yeah, that's fair. Alright. Scrap. Vendor Grace, you learn the appearance. Heavily farmed dungeons really saves time. If you vendor graze, you learn the appearance. I feel like that works by default now, though. You need to be Nordic to pronounce it right. That's probably true. I've been skipping my daily shuffles. I've been slacking. Like herbing saxophone in the Dragon Isles. Hey. Hello. Kitty, what if we just do one run? One Nighthold run on Night Flame. We'll see which difficulty he's missing the most transmog from. Oh, I see. I see. I thought the add-on was doing that in specific. Leatrix Plus should auto-vendor for me. There's every chance that I just don't have it on. Okay. He can sell all of these things. He's at a level 382. That seems to be about where I was able to get my random alts without doing any actual amount of work on them. Is he able to do... Surely a Demon Hunter would have Dalaran unlocked. Surely. Yeah. Nighthold with Night Flame. We'll do one clear, and then I have to go. I can't believe how fast stream went today. Hiya. Which difficulty does he need, though? That's the question. He has... LFR's not a valid option because it doesn't drop them out. So he can do normal or heroic. He has one extra item on normal, so I guess I'll run it on heroic. Because he's missing all kinds of stuff from there. Raid difficulty. Heroic. You did look for a hunter pet and scared a fish away? Yeah. Well, I was summoning a fish. Unless I had separately scared a fish away. Was this when I was trying to get Blackwater Behemoth to drop? Don't have much leather. Apparently, you'd think I would have more. I wonder if some of it's tier, because I've certainly never done any tier set farming on Demon Hunter, and this would be one of the only raids that's like a thing on. So if we're looking at the heroic Nighthold things that this character could have, a lot of that are tier items. I think if I was looking at Druid, it would be a smaller list because I probably have most of the Druid tier. Would we think you have more? I don't know. I lost track of what we were talking about. I need a safe word for that. Hazel just starts saying banana and it just means you know that she lost track of her train of thought. Oh, you'd think I'd had more letter. I don't know. You're right. Not that surprised. Drop by more frequently. Fun stream. Thank you. We do this 5 days a week at the same time every day. We don't always go this late. Sometimes it's only a 2-hour stream. Sometimes I do 9 to 11, but if I can, or if I'm addicted to transmog farming, I'll do 9 to noon. Safe word is squirrel. Binge watch videos of yours that last all this time. Thank you. Aw, cheers. I don't think I made a terrible amount of videos in that time. However, I have been getting back into it. I've got a couple of new ones out. One day I want to try my hand at making videos that are fun and not just helpful. I have a real thing where it's like when I do finally get around to making YouTube videos, I may as well make the guides for whatever the latest thing is. So I end up only making guides. And I feel like I could do fun videos. I'm fun. She says to herself, reassuring. Emerald Nightmare does offsets. Emerald Nightmare doesn't have the Fellblaze Infernal though. This week could be the stream. You streamed the most in a long time. I had some thought. I was thinking about what if I just power leveled, and by power leveled I just mean binge leveled, that druid to get her to 70 to get her set up to do keys. You turn on the stream and you go, stream doesn't end until 70, and you just make yourself, because it's not like it's that crazy anymore. People used to do that when it was a difficult thing to do, right? Like people used to do that when when it would take like days and days of effort. And I could probably do that in like 8 hours if I really, really tried, but I feel like I would lose stamina and then I would start doing terribly inefficient things like pet battles and herbing, and it might be a bit of a mess. You know what? I want to see a fun video. RP with chat, power level with chat, no sleep until you fish at the pond nettle. That's something I'm not willing to get myself into. That sounds like it could rapidly approach medically dangerous. And also, I've come to realize that I think I need a good routine, not only for myself and my own mental health, but for my cat, for my pets, you know? The fish like being fed at the same time every day. The kitty cat likes it when I have my routines. Can I do this in 8 hours or something? I have points to burn. I think, oh, I got a vintage Suramar nobility hat. I think the reason why I am usually disinclined to do longer streams or like subathons and stuff like that is I think for my stream in particular, part of the appeal of the stream is in our energy and our chat interaction, which are both things that vanish if I stream for longer than 4 hours. I run out of energy, and I run out of words, and I lose my voice, and I get cranky, and I will just sit in silence and sullenly play the game. And I can do that all the live long day, but I think that the value of the stream goes down immensely the longer you go. So I guess there's nothing that says you have to do it all the time. But I don't think that you're certainly not going to keep up the same ratio of like getting subs and whatnot in terms of your financial return for your time. It's going to dilute drastically. Can't throw the worms off the routine either. Once a year stream marathon. Got on meds, started going to the doctor and stuff for my cat. They're magic like that. People will tell you a dog will make sure you get up on time, but mine's always slept till noon if I've let them. Stream for 2 hours. Fish cam for 2 hours. Come back. Staring into middle distance hazel is not optimal hazel. It's a version of hazel. It's just not usually the one that you guys get. I usually wait until I've turned off stream to do staring into middle distance hazel. It also makes the VODs watchable. I think part of the reason why there's anybody at all that actually wants to watch stream VODs is because they're a little bit more content dense, or at least conversation dense, than like a 6-hour stream would be. I'd be more worried about you getting lunch. I just get handled bowls of noodles. A routine for post-stream, booking a cup of tea. Lately, what I've been doing is I've been wrapping myself in a blanket and falling on the couch and then staring at the ceiling for 10 minutes to decompress, followed by maybe lunch and a walk and then a nap, and that's usually where everything goes downhill. What is for lunch? I don't know yet. We used to have a break fish on TV, a video clip of a fish in an aquarium that we put on if there was a bit of time between programs. That's kind of nice. Pause Fiskin, the break fish. I'm trying to find out if I could find... So is Fiskin then the Norwegian word for fish? Would this work as a dog name? I have this desire to name my dog Tuna, but it's a strange name for a dog. Yes, I love that. Fiskin. It's kind of cute. It's a little different. Fisk? Fiskin is the fish. Fisk makes me think of the fiscal year. Get my dog to do my taxes. Norwegian's a little weird like that. We would be worried if you said I'm having tuna for dinner. Pardon me. You can also call them trout, salmon, ling, short for ling cod. On Fiskin. Fiskin, a fish, the fish. Oh. Sockeye! Can you imagine a dog? Hey, this is my dog, Sockeye. Although, you would just call him Socks, which is adorable. Socks is extremely cute. On a big fluffy dog named Bjorn, the bear. Trilliax has all... There's so much stuff in here for you. Anything good? I got the Cape of Second Sight. Back piece. Tear? Tear cape? Yeah, it's a tear cloak. That's funny. I didn't know that was a thing. I'd forgotten. Better than a dog named Cutthroat. True. Name them after the first object you see, like bottle caps or tweezers. There's a dog at one of the dog rescues named Bottle that is very sweet. It's like a 2-year-old terrier mix that's supposedly just like a real sweet, friendly with cats, friendly with kids, medium energy, just kind of wants to go for a walk and take a nap. And it's a sweet looking dog. I had a cat named Socks when I was a kid. Socks feels like more of a cat name. A lot of the cute, fun names feel more like cat names than dog names to me. I could see Socks being a dog though. Low effort doggies are the best doggies I know. I hope that doggy finds a good home. There was another one from that same rescue that was really, really, really cute, and it had seemed like a really sweet doggy. Also supposedly kitty friendly, but had some leg deformities. That and was on some medication, which is fine, but probably not a great candidate for doing like a lot of long hikes. And I would probably need to, if I had that dog, temper my expectations for the kind of physical exertion I wanted to do if it has like joint pain or leg pain. Neighbors have a dog named Aspen. I think Aspen's super cute. I would also one of the names on my list is Birch, just because it's a tree and it's the tree that gives fine wood in Valheim, and because I think it's cute. Me and my fatigued self not being too keen on running a half marathon with a husky every day. Yeah, they're a lot. They are a lot. They're so smart. They're beautiful. They're so much though. cousin's grown up, had a dog with 3 legs. Love that dog so much. There is a kitty cat. There was a 3-legged kitty cat at the shelter. I mean, I'm sure there's a few of them, but actually no, but cute cat. Very good. Would recommend. Ooh, I got gloves. I got gloves that I needed. Nice. At least in this raid, you can totally mount up and clear some space in your bags if you need to. That's nice. Not all dogs are smart. Cousin had a chocolate lab. Brains were light bulbs. He would be flickering. I think we used to make jokes about my childhood dog that she was a bit dim. And in hindsight, it may have been true. She may have been a bit dim. It's hard to say. But I also didn't understand dogs very well at the time. That's a BOE that I needed. It's a belt. And it's a leather belt, so it actually had to drop for a leather character, supposedly. Nice. One more off the list. But yeah, I'm you know, when you look back on it, sometimes you think, well, maybe I just didn't get that dog, you know, maybe I just didn't give that dog the right opportunity to show me how smart she was. So many people thought I'd called my dog Hyper when I said Piper. She lives her life at warp speed. I have a special dog. Tell me about your special dog. No luck from Star Augur, but there was only one piece I needed. Botanist has 2 things. Interesting, I get more excited for some zone drops than mounts. It's probably because you've been through the farming of the zone drops. I guess you may have been through the farming of the mounts as well, but these things used to be much harder to get, so even if they're not so bad now, it's still kind of exciting to be like, nice, I don't have to look for that now. My dog is allergic to grass. Oh. Local pet store will let me sit on the floor, pet the bunnies. Need some help with socializing them anyways. Nice. We all have to consider nicknames when naming pets. As a kid, I had Storm, who was also Stormy. Stormulus. I love Stormulus. Yeah, I think of the nicknames, but I think of just I love pet names that have nothing to do with the pet's actual name. I can't name a dog something like Honey or Muffin because they're all Honey/Muffin. Oh, I got another one. I also needed that one. That is lucky. I've run this raid enough today to know that 2 back-to-back, like, that's pretty lucky. We're into that. Nice. And they've so far been rare or been BOEs that I needed too. Those were IDs or items, appearances that I did not yet have. Harder learning curve to overcome, so I have to keep that in mind. My other cat, Percy, has become Perseronian cheese. Oh, Lucky Ducky is established earlier. Have you thought of owning a hedgehog? They have interesting issues. I have not given a lot of thought to owning a hedgehog. I love animals, and I love pets, but I know that I have probably a limited capacity to provide different types of pets their best life. So I would rather narrow my scope a little bit whenever possible so that I can give a good life to the pets that I have. So I have a cat. I would like a dog one day. And I have freshwater fish. And I'm good with that. That's enough for me. Unless I one day end up with chickens, but that's a later me problem. Trousers of cultivation. Yeah, interesting issues isn't exactly a great sales pitch. I fighting one fellhound? He's dead now. He's a condemned demon. Poor guy. Alright, here's the real brave move. You get a dog, right? You bring the dog home. You turn on your computer. You roll a warlock. You level them until you get their fellhound. And whatever that fellhound's name is, that's your dog's name. Welcome home! Zero. Banished it back. That does help a little bit. What are my fellhound names? Fellhound names always sound like a vacuum cleaner sound. They're like barely pronounceable. Julkun. A lot of pressure on that dog to be more protective. I call a lot of animals Bud. Bud is kind of my go-to. I will Bud or Buddy. How you doing, Bud? How you been? I'm forever asking them how they've been. They're probably like, listen, I saw you yesterday. Baby. So I did that side, and now I'm gonna do this side, and then I'll do Croesus. That's the order. Augur, Botanist, Croesus. Augur, Botanist, Tichondrius, Croesus. That's the order I've decided on. If I ever deviate from that, it's because I'm doing it wrong. Gotta avoid a walker named Kargath. Just Garth. Kargarth. Hard not to try and get the name Wayne. Can you get the name Wayne? My fellows Nazdur. Kilithun. I can never roll another. I don't remember what boy's fellow hunter is. I know his imp is Pazam. Because it sounds like his imp is trying to sell him some cleaning products. Oh, my other go-to nickname is Boo Boo, especially if said animal is in any way pouting or sleepy or in any way not exuberant in that moment. They go, "How you doing, Boo Boo? How's my Boo Boo?" Boo Boo is both a proper noun, it's a name, and it's also a condition. So you can ask, "Is my Boo 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 Boo?" You can say, "I am Boo Boo," and you can mean, "I am not doing well," or you can mean, "I am Boo Boo. My name is Boo Boo." You can change your warlock pet names infinitely, but it costs gold every time, so you better be rich. I got some shoulder guards of the second sight. And now it's Croesus time. How much gold? Somewhere in the 50 to 100 range. I don't remember. It's possible it's changed. It's like buffalo is a place, a noun, an adjective, and a verb. I've seen the sentences where they have the word buffalo a set amount of times in a row, and it's like a grammatically correct sentence. That always breaks me. I understand why it works, but I don't like it. Never realized you could change warlock pet names. It's a re-roll, so you don't get to name them in the same way you would a hunter pet. You just get to re-roll the name and get a new random name. Just so you don't get your hopes up that you can have like a fell hunter named Cookie. Cookie! Cookie's a cute dog name too. Reroll the character until I got one that I liked. I've been there too. I've done that. Especially when you used to have to level them up a ways to get the pet. That was something. New random name is so much better than completely new character. Sometimes the new character, I feel like I almost prefer that because it feels like the first name that procs in that character was like Destiny. And then whenever, like if I get a bad name, I feel like, oh, I'll learn to love it. But if I re-roll the name and I don't like the re-rolled name, then it feels like, well, now you're just being greedy and that's why it's giving you this bad name or this weird name that you don't like. I feel like it's because I re-rolled it. If I don't like the name, I feel like the name is my fault. Whereas when it's the character that's brand new, it feels like the name is more detached from my actions, despite the fact that it's basically the same thing. I'd main a lock of my fell hunter was Cookie. Hungry. Croesus has tier chest and bracers. I don't know what any of these buttons do. I spec'd the damage spec. Havoc, I suppose, because it had better movement. It was faster than the tank spec, because I got my Fel Rush back. But, I don't remember what any of these things do. I just picked A spec. Most of them do damage. What I need to do is figure out if any of them do spammable, resource-free AoE damage. Like how on my warrior I can do like a whirlwind, and on my druids I can do swipe. I need to figure out if I have an equivalent to that. Because I-beaming trash down only works every 40 seconds. Is your DH topless in Warbear Willies? He has different... No. He's got full... He's topless with bandit pants. But yeah, it's pretty close. So that cloak is one that I actually already have, so I can actually post that one up for sale. It looks like they're going for 15k, but market value on Lightbringer might be 5k. Is there one up for 5k? Is that the idea? No. But... oh, weird. I must have a key stuck. It's not letting me underprice my item. There's no way I have multiples of those that are available to post. I do have multiples that are available to post. All right. That's funny. I have 2 of that exact same cloak, and I don't need the appearance. I didn't notice the other one dropping. I will probably post them one at a time, and I'll probably post them for like a snipeable price just to get rid of them. You're not doing the hipster thing, putting them in a loincloth? I'm saving the loincloths for Anthus. I feel like Nightflame's thing is never shirt. He is full shirtless all the time, but he can wear pants. That's his vibe. Roll a tuna Lightbringer just to get the Hazel special promotion on Mogs. I mean, if you Cross Realm Gold's open, so feel free to come snipe my sales. So 100 transmog, they had the bandage shirt mogged. Panthers also look like bandages. Ooh, I don't know what those pants would be. Is he allergic to shirts? I need a backstory. Not a religious thing. Not an allergy. That's just how he's comfy, man. That's just what he likes to wear. He doesn't need a reason. I don't have reasons for half the stuff I do. He really loves his felt tats. I guess Illidan doesn't wear shirts either. Elisand has... I keep thinking 3 things, but it's not 3 things. It's because the tier items look like a lot because it'll show you the token and it'll actually show you the item as well. I think that when the item actually drops, it doesn't drop as a token. It just gives you the item. I think. Seems true. If I had Dayglow tats all over my torso, I don't know if I'd hide them with shirts either. Have you gotten all the mogs from time walking badges for Legion? Ooh, that's a good question actually, because I have extra time warp badges that I could spend, and I didn't used to buy mog from those vendors, so I should take a look. I bet I could get some stuff. Is this about you wishing you didn't get as cold? Man, I'm gonna have to figure something out with the light. I don't know if it's because of the light specifically, but I have a raging headache. I turned up the light so that I would be able to, so that it would, I guess I could probably turn it down some. Let me see. Because I put up some acoustic foam that's on the wall in front of me to improve the sound, and it's black, so it's reduced the amount of white wall that I'm reflecting light off of. And I don't even have the light pointing right at me. It's still reflecting off the wall, but I turned it up some and it like hurts. It's just too much contrast, I think. Those demons, those fodder the flames, get me. Oh, there we go. We got our bracers. Nice. Bracers of impossible choice. One more chance at one more chance. Near farsighted. I have difficulty focusing. I have difficulty with clarity with objects that are far away from me, which I think makes me nearsighted. Do you have a white sheet you can put over the foam? No. It also looks really cool. The foam looks nice. I'll fiddle with stuff. Harsh light gets worse through my glasses. That might be it. It's just brighter than what I'm used to, and it's just too bright. It's like right off to the side of the monitor, and I've always had problems with my Streamlights being too hot, which is usually why I stream in a cave and then I just have the camera compensate. And also, I think doesn't help that the sunlight is blaring past. I'd have to fix my curtains here. It seems to be a bright day. It's a bright day with exceptionally favorable winds. A perfect day for a race. One of those things. You can get flip the camera. I can't. It's mounted to the post. But there will be some form of video. There's every chance that the video will be like I installed acoustic foam and can barely tell because I took some sound samples and you can tell, but it's a really subtle difference for how much work it was. Which may not be the answer that people are looking for if they're looking to hear some before and afters for acoustic foam. Maybe it's because my room was already not too bad to begin with, but I kind of thought I had an echo. What the heck was that? You haven't? Thank you. Yeah, it's the Dragon Racing NPC. I was hoping somebody would get it. They'll say that before you leave in a dragon race every now and then. Don't forget whelp dick hair. I'm 100% going to forget whelp dick hair. I just don't think it's in the cards for today. Those whelps are going to have to look after themselves. Says the same thing in the caverns. Recently, I feel like I had them say something different in the caverns that started out the same way, and I was wondering if they replaced the line because of how goofy it was. But then I thought, why would they do that when it's not that important? It seems like there's other things that they could do instead. Battlestrass is going to be mad. Yeah, the rugs are also... I added rugs to help cut down the echo as well. I just figured I still had an echo. Maybe what I'm doing is I'm listening to my voice, and it's not that the room sucks, it's that I'm hearing the squawkiness in my upper register, and what I need is not more foam, but better audio, better vocal training. Or I just need to cosplay as an Arakoa. Can't even do it. Gone. All right, any mount, please. Da-da-da. Nope, that contract is not a mount. Alrighty, it is 1:15. My earphones have died because that's about all the battery we get out of those. And I must wrap this up and then return to you tomorrow for some proper Gul'dan... I was going to say Gul'dan-aroni and cheese because I'm broken. For some Gul'dan attempts. We'll do mat runs tomorrow because it's Saturday and that's what we do. Thank you very much for joining me today. Appreciate it. Keep an eye on the main YouTube channel for a fresh news video coming out tomorrow morning. Unless I look at the news and I go, wow, nothing happened, in which case I'll make an excuse. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.